right, welcome back, True Seeker. Just so you know, it seems like TFR is having one of those audio glitch nights. I could not hear any ads. I couldn't hear any of that remix brothers with Trump or Biden. I don't hear the introduction right now, so something is definitely amiss. And that means on the TFR end. Let me just pull up the actual show and see what it sounds like over there right now. Unless I got canceled. No, it says I'm on the air. Lucky, thank you, Lucky. Lucky's standing by. She says she hears me. Okay. She says she hears me clearly. Lucky, I appreciate you being on the spot to let me know that. I guess we are being broadcast over the air. For whatever reason, tonight I cannot hear anything. Oh, she said the tune's playing though right now, so I'm talking over the tune. Okay, that's the problem. Because I can't hear anything. No bumpers tonight, huh? Okay, one of those nights. Problem is without the bumper, I'm not real good with the timing. So for all you guys who hate the remix brothers, you're going to love it tonight because there won't be any unless it fixes itself. Okay, I'm gonna on my end it says I'm muted, but obviously I'm not. Again, if you guys are listening tonight, I'll do my best, but it's one of those nights where we do not. No breaks tonight. Just go all the way through. All right, Lucky says no breaks tonight. I guess we're just well. Good news then. We'll get through way more callers. We don't have any ads. It'll just be non-stop content. That means if you want to call in tonight, great night to call in. The number is 213-233-3998. Again, 213-233-3998. Because we don't have any ads, that means there will be a lot more show. So you win some, you lose some. Sadly, I guess less ad revenue for TFR. I know it does survive on the ads, but when they're not working, I guess we're just filling in, going a little overtime. So, of course, the big story of the week is the massacre in Nashville on the 86th Meridian West on the 86th day of the year. And it's amazing how many 86s they coded into the story. The woman who owned the school who supposedly died, they're saying the 3 adults who died were her, a substitute teacher, and the janitor. And again, if you've seen the surveillance video, by the way, tonight's show is called Guns Are Bad, okay? Guns are bad, that's what they want us to know. But anyhow, if you've seen the surveillance video, or if you've seen the police body camera footage, I mean, the strange thing is the school's completely empty. And even when it shows the shooter pulling into the parking lot's almost all the way empty. It's like, is everybody on spring break? What's going on here? A mass shooting, dead people, but no one in the school. You would have think as the police were running all over the school, you would have noticed somebody somewhere in an office, in a closet, in a bathroom. Nowhere. You don't see a single person until the very end. If you have not watched the surveillance video or the police body cam, please take a minute to watch it so you can confirm everything I'm saying. But at the very end, you see the shooter just standing by their lonesome in the corner, looking out the window with their rifle pointed up at the sky as the police officers shoot them. And you don't see any smoke from the guns. Look like one of those simulations CNN told us about years ago, how the police like to do active shooter drills in schools, malls, movie theaters, all the places we read about the mass shootings happening, same places the police do the drills. But anyway, there's just so many things that are wrong about this. Another thing that's wrong about it is if you look at the surveillance video, the shooter is wearing Vans. Or excuse me, no, I take it back. In the surveillance video, the shooter's wearing Pumas. You can see they're black and white Pumas with the classic Puma white stripe. There's no other color on the shoe. They're black and white shoes. In the police body cam footage, when they stand over the supposed corpse, which is all blurred out, and you'd think in the blur you'd see some blood somewhere in there, but there's no blood anywhere. But as they stand over the corpse, you can see the shooter's shoes. It's about all you can make out. And they have on a different pair of shoes. They don't have on black and white Pumas. They have on black Vans that do have white soles, but they have a nice orange and yellow Vans stripe. And for anyone who's familiar with Ole Demigard, he always says it's all about the shoes. The shoes are always the sign in the shootings. Shoes and shootings. And funny enough, in Gematria, as we've talked about before, shoes has the same gematria as mass shooting, which is 66. And in this case, the shooting was 66 days from the state of Tennessee's upcoming birthday, June 1st, date written 1-6, kind of like 16, like how Tennessee, Sweet 16, the 16th state, the big number when they upset Nick Saban this year, or I should say this past year in football. But, yeah, just to not overwhelm you with numbers, again, 86th day of the year, Nashville on the 86th Meridian West, the police spokesperson, John Drake, his name in Gematria equals 86. The woman who owns the school, her name equals 86. Supposedly she got 86th. You know, this whole story, what it reminds me of is like video games from the 90s. You guys remember the video games from the 90s? There wasn't like enough graphic processing power for dead corpses to remain on the screen, so you'd like shoot somebody and then they just vanish into thin air. Must have been like that in this school, because again, it was completely empty, no blood anywhere. But a whole bunch of 86, even the physical description of the suspect before they finally gave us the name Audrey Hale, the transgender. The initial description, the way they put it up on the screen on CNN, it added up to 86. However it was, 28-year-old white woman, whatever the phrasing was 86. Just big old 86 show for the 86th day of the year. And by the way, for all you guys who love Disney, Disney equals 86. Bob Iger, 86th a lot of people's jobs on the 86th day of the year. Of course, down at the migrant facility, a lot of people burnt up. And remember that 86, it's not a nice number. Words like blood sacrifice and human sacrifice equal 86. Not exactly sure those phrases apply to what happened at the Nashville school, though, because, again, it was empty. So, anyhow, 86 was a big one. There were several numbers all over it. Another really obvious and repetitive number that we see all the time in these shootings is 33. If you go to the school website, it says it employs 33 teachers, which is funny because in numerology, the master teacher number is 33. And the address was 33 Burton Hills Road. In fact, that was the first details CNN let off with. In their initial, when the story was breaking, they had in the paragraph, a school shooting in Nashville at 33 Burton Hills Road. I was like, yeah, they got to let everybody know the 33's on it. You got to appreciate the way the media does it. It's almost like they want people to know. And then the rest of them, they're like, well, they're too dumb, so we'll just take away their rights and liberties. But anyway, 33 Burton Hills Road, where 33 teachers are employed, and then later the headline emerged that 3 adults and 3 children were killed. And again, in Gematria, that Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words, we've talked about it a million times with 33. Police, order, secrecy, masonry, they all equal 33. So does the word federal in the federal city, D.C., where they're leading the war on guns. The war on the Second Amendment. Again, the Masonic headquarters is there, the House of the Temple, that has 33 pillars on the outside that are each 33 feet tall. Or maybe you prefer the word columns. 33 columns that are each 33 feet tall. And don't forget the address of that building is 1733, which makes a lot of sense because the word Mason is 17 and the word Masonry is 33. And modern Freemasonry was created in the banking district of London in 1717. London's divided into 33 neighborhood areas. By the way, R.I.P. to the dead cross-dresser. The dead drag queen, dead today in the news. In the UK, the comedian, he's dead 201 days after the Queen, who died 201 days herself after her COVID diagnosis. And he died in a big 86 ritual as well, and when the Queen died, it was 86 days after his birthday, funny enough. Coming back to that 86 number. But yeah, back to the story of the week, the shooting in Nashville. So 86 was a big number on the event. 33 was a big number on the event. Another big one was 73. The date numerology was 73. Nashville, Tennessee is 73. The Covenant School's 73. It's slipping my mind. There were a few other 73s in there. Nashville alone is 39. And what was the headline about the children? 3 9-year-olds were killed. 3 9-year-olds. Nashville, 39. Gun, 39. Going for the guns, right? There's a few other jokes they threw in there. I'm always talking about how the transgender number is 53. The date had a lesser date numerology of 53. The word transgender equals 53, like Vanity Fair. Think of sexy Bruce Jenner on the cover of Vanity Fair and his whitey tighties. Old Brucey. But again, we've been talking about 1,053 transgender rituals from then up to now. You look up who the first recognized transgender person is in the history of the nation. You'll see that she was born on May 30th, 530, and died on May 3rd, 53. But again, this shooting also had a lesser date numerology of 53. You just get it by adding 3 plus 27 plus 23, 53. And the name Audrey Hale, 53, just like transgender. And, you know, ESPN this week paid tribute to the male to female swimmer who had a gazillion 53 rituals as they dominated women's swimming as a self-identified woman. It's just amazing to grow up in this country and just see all this stuff happen. Just like, oh, okay, now you can say you're a woman and compete against women in sports. Wow. I gotta admit, I never thought I'd see that one in my lifetime. But yeah, just the fact that the news can keep replaying a mass shooting with an empty building and almost nobody blinks an eye. But why should they? I mean, wasn't it just remember the shooting in Los Angeles years ago? They said a bunch of the survivors from the Vegas shooting were there, and then it was a shooting in a Los Angeles nightclub. And then CNN showed us the footage of what it looked like in the club, and they had a completely empty room with like a disco ball spinning and an empty stage that was lit up. And then it was like, sounded like somebody set off some firecrackers in the background, and then all of a sudden, like, I don't know, some recorded scream sound from somebody's cell phone. Oh! And they're like, oh my God, you might want to turn away. This is traumatic to watch. It's like, okay, you're literally showing me an empty room with a spinning disco ball. And are those I'm not sure those are even gunshots. That really sounds like, I forget it's been so long since I bought firecrackers, but you know, like a long string that looks like little mini dynamite sticks. Anyway, you guys, I mean, these people just, think about it. Sandy Hook forward. Make that Columbine forward. All of these stories, and where's the evidence that anything ever happened? You know? Dr. William Carver, after he got done carving up the children doing the autopsies, he couldn't stop smiling about how cute they were. I don't know. I mean, where are you supposed to start believing this story? How about how this week in Nashville they said Sabrina the Teenage Witch was there? Did you guys miss this one? Actress Melissa Joan Hart. Sabrina the Teenage Witch. She was there to help save the children. That's one of the stories they're running with. You want to know the sick joke of why they used her? Sabrina the Teenage Witch, that show turns 27 years old this year. It started in 96. And, of course, the shooting was on the 27th. 3 9-year-olds, right? What's 9 plus 9 plus 9? But the show turns 27 years old, and in Gematria, witch and broom both equal 27. So, anyway, the lesson is, guns are bad, okay? Let's take away the guns. So Pfizer, you know, can turn us all into guinea pigs. And don't kid yourself. Probably would have happened already. It was bad in the U.S. during the pandemic, but it was worse in other countries that have been disarmed, like in New Zealand. And isn't it sick listening to these politicians get on TV that represent America and say things like, in New Zealand, when they had a shooting, it only took them days to take away the guns. It's like, well, then why don't you move to New Zealand, you asshole? We're not New Zealand. Do we want to be New Zealand? Shout out to all the people in New Zealand. From what I understand, it's a beautiful place, but I mean, I don't want to be a country. I don't want to follow any other country's lead, you know? That's the problem. We live in this new world order too. It's the same rituals in all these countries. Remember the not the Nashville. Remember how it was the Ides of March shooting by the numbers. The Ides of March shooting. I remember that day very well because I could still get some views back then. I had 2 videos that both got over 500,000 views in a couple hours, but then there were consequences because my very well selling ebook, which made a nice revenue stream for me, was banned that day at the nice folks in Brooklyn, New York at Etsy. Anyway. Oh yeah, the other thing that to point out about this shooting. Why was the ATF there? The ATF was there within minutes? Really? The ATF was on the scene in minutes. It's funny how the ATF was the big thing with Waco, right? Trump was just down at Waco talking about guns, and then days later it's the ATF in Nashville, Tennessee. And not to mention, in last week's broadcast, Tucker Carlson predicted that soon there'd be transgender activists with guns creating violence in America. You don't think Tucker's in on the script? Give me a break. If Tucker was really about the truth, he'd have me on tonight, and we'd be doing the whole hour broadcasts, breaking it down. Ashbay Beasley, also a supposed survivor of the Highland Park shooting. She was in Nashville and had to speak out. You know what's funny? They said it was the 129th mass shooting of the year, and her name equals 129. That's a big number at Georgetown, where I think they write a lot of these scripts at. Again, for anybody who hasn't seen the movie Enemy of the State, which came out just before 9/11, go back and watch how relevant Georgetown is to that film. I think that's a place that needs a federal audit. So yeah, you know, those are some of the bigger headlines. Today, the FDA approved Narcan. Stock shot up today. Of course it did. But might be a stock, if you're invested in the market, you might want to buy it because there are a lot of opioid addicts. Let's not forget after 9/11, we went into Afghanistan and killed all the Taliban who'd gotten rid of all the poppy production, and then we sent our troops over there to guard the poppy fields as we brought them all back. Coincidentally, an opioid crisis started in the world shortly after. I'm sure it was all just an accident. Reminds me how in 1968 we approved fentanyl, the same year 911 was made the national emergency dialing code, the same year World Trade Center construction began, the same year 2001 A Space Odyssey came out, the same year Boeing debuted their jumbo jetliner, the same year the Jets went on to win their only Super Bowl. Think about it. New York Jets. 9/11 Patriot Act, and then the Patriots. Rig sports, rig news, big rituals, all from the same cabal. But anyway, FDA approves Narcan. Why does it matter that they did it today? Today's date numerology is 39. Narcan equals 39. So does federal. The feds approved Narcan today. And, you know, just looking into my Gematria Genie bottle, I detect a story probably years and years from now that maybe this Narcan's even more deadly than the opioids that it's meant to counter. And the reason I say that is because it's the 88th day of the year and the 29th of the month. And that number is connected to suspicious deaths, 88, and the word poison equals 88. The word poison also equals 29. Big way 88, small way 29. Poison 88, 29. I just wonder about that product that's been released. But it did cause a surge in the stock price today. For all you crypto people, watch out for XRP on Tuesdays. Talked about that earlier this year. XRP continues to perform well on Tuesdays. And that's because XRP equals Tuesday equals 23. And what year are we in? Run it the other way, it also equals 40 like Ripple. So things to pay attention to. But remember, you shouldn't be an investor unless all your debt's paid down. I got to keep emphasizing that to people. People ask me all the time, should I start investing if I have debt? No, you should not. You should pay off all your debt because your debt costs you way more than what your investments will make you. All right, anyway, enough of that. Let's get out to the callers. Again, we don't have any commercials tonight because we have some kind of system glitch here at TFR, so you're not going to hear any commercial breaks. You're not going to hear any music. But I do have a 3-hour time slot to fill in, so your calls all night It's always good to hear first-time callers. The number is 213-233-3998. Again, 213-233-3998. And yeah, feel free to go longer tonight too. Make it good, make it on point. Hopefully it's about the things we're talking about, the agendas, the loss of rights and liberties. Oh, and one more thing I need to say. This Sunday, here in Washington State where I live, we're about to become the 10th state to lose the right to own an assault weapon. Thankfully, I already got mine. But I was going to go to the state capitol, but I realized, like, wait a minute, it doesn't really make sense to go to the state capitol on the weekend because nobody will be there. It'll be dead. So I still do want to go out there while the time is now. But instead of going to the state capitol where nobody will be because it's the weekend, we will go instead to Pike's Place Market. It's supposed to be a rainy day, so it probably won't be the best day. But it's hard to find a day that isn't rainy this time of year in the Pacific Northwest. So the weekend's the best we can do, and the good news about it being a rainy weekend is I won't have to be competing the corner with musicians and drummers and all that. It'll probably just be wide open, and again, we'll just get out there and make some noise. I got the big speaker. I just got to keep it dry, and this Sunday, I'll get out there as early as I can. It's a little bit more than a 3-hour drive from where I am. It's longer to the Capitol. It'll be a 4-hour drive. But Seattle, this Sunday, I want to be there before noon, but just plan to get there at about noon if you want to come out. And yeah, again, calling all people in the Seattle area. So for all my people who have said Olympia, I changed the plan because it's a shorter drive for me to Seattle. And again, there'll be more people there. But I do want to go down to Olympia and confront the politicians. The word on the street is the Senate's going to pass the bill to ban assault weapons sometime in April. Somebody said it could be April 22nd. If they do that, my eyebrow will be way up because that's Adam Lanza's birthday. But yeah, this weekend, Seattle, rain or shine, bring your rain gear. All of us who live up here are used to it anyway. And yeah, see if we can wake some people up to these agendas, talk about Nashville and way more. People in the Seattle area remember the last time there was a mass shooting up here. It was the Marysville-Pilchuck High School shooting, and they talked about how obsessed the shooter was with the number 33. Go figure. You guys might have forgot that one. It was 2014, but it was the one where he called all his family members to the cafeteria and then shot his own family members. Like, that's not suspicious. Did it even happen? His dad is big in the casino world up here on the reservations. But anyhow, let's get out to the callers. Again, 213-233-3998 and 810, you're up first. How you doing, 810? 810?
Holy cow, that was snap. Hang on, let me clear the deck here. I'm just having a late dinner with the family and everything that's going on over here. So, you pointed out some pretty interesting stuff on this tranny killer that may or may not have killed anybody, right?
Well, again, empty school. Empty school. I don't know how you can kill anybody in an empty school, but anyway.
I hadn't heard that, and I'm so glad you pointed that out. I haven't, I can't see, so I was not able to look at any videos. I'm going to have to point that out to folks. Now, you know about the Tranny Vengeance Day on April 1st?
Yeah, I've heard about this, and on April Fool's Day, right? And again, like, where did that come from? And like I've always pointed out, I mean, Caitlyn Jenner, you guys, equals 201, like the Jesuit order, who's behind every last one of these rituals. I'm sure they gave us this Tranny Vengeance Day, and then this little story on the 86th day of the year. Let's not forget Jesuits equals 86, where the Jesuit order's 201. And right now we're in the time of the 86-year-old Jesuit Pope who lives in Suite 201, who's been hospitalized today by the numbers. That's another story we can get to later. But yeah, I did hear about it. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, there's actually a website, and I don't know what it is, but there's a rally March in Washington, D.C., March 31st, April 1st, and April 2nd. They're going to do a fundraiser to raise money for guns for trannies.
Guns for trannies? That really?
Yes, that's what the website said. Somebody read it on one of the calls I was on today.
Weird. I had to do a Google search on that. There's even a movie from '94 called Tranny Get Your Gun. I might have to figure out where I can watch that one.
Holy cow. Oh my God. You said from 1991?
94.
94. Okay. Wow. I'll have to have somebody pull that one up.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Anyway, that's about all I got, Zach. Thanks, brother. You're always right on point. Appreciate you.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. Thanks for tuning in. You have a good night.
Okay.
All right, take care.
You too.
All right, the man from New York. Is he ready or do I got to come back?
Hey, what's up, Zach? You can hear me?
Loud and clear.
I don't really got too much tonight. The only thing I saw the Pope is in the hospital for what, lung infection.
Yeah, again, today's his 103rd day of his age. Jesuits equals 103 forwards, 86 in reverse. So on his 103rd day of being 86, he's in the hospital. And then respiratory infection or whatever the official cause is equals 119, like Pope Francis, or Francis equals 119 in Vatican. So if he bites the dust, it would be the latest 86 ritual. And I guess he would have served his purpose, but we'll see where it goes from here.
I don't think he's going to bite the dust. I think, how old he is right now?
86. Remember? That's how we had Argentina to win the World Cup, because they last won it in 86, and it was all synced up with Diego Maradona, who was on that team, and then they won it the day after his 86th birthday.
And that is right. How many days? His birthday's in December, right?
Today's his 103rd day of his age. Jesuits equals 103 and 86.
Damn. So he could go before 86, before he turned 87.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, yeah, there was one more thing I saw in the news today. King Charles made his first visit to Germany. And didn't you say that the Queen's family background is from Germany, right?
Yep, they are.
I thought that was interesting. They say he was supposed to go to France first, but they said they postponed France visit. So Germany is his first visit as king.
Okay. Interesting.
Yep. So those are two things I saw. Just the Pope and King Charles. That's it.
Okay.
So now I have to look in to see what date the Pope might leave out of here.
Yeah, just since you brought up King Charles, I guess the other story I should have mentioned today, since it's a big headline in the UK, again, Paulo Grady, the drag queen in the UK, dies unexpectedly at 67. Again, he died 201 days after the Queen's death, and she died 201 days after a COVID diagnosis, and Captain Ton died from COVID 201 days after he was knighted by the Queen. But again, that also means that she died, or he died 201 days after King Charles became king. And the thing about that is King Charles III equals 134, and the death came 134 days after Charles' birthday. And remember we were talking about how the Moscow, Idaho killings on King Road, how they said that the women called a guy named Jack 10 times in the night, and the last Jack the Ripper killing was at the 10 Bells, and they'd called him 10 times. But then that was 134 years ago, his last killing. And then here we are again, now 134 days after Charles' birthday. And then furthermore, the word king equals 41 forward, 67 in reverse. This person's dead at 67, 41 weeks after their own birthday. And then the drag queen character name is Lily Savage, which equals 41. There's a little bit more to it, but again, just undeniable rituals. So.
Okay, all right, that's it. I just wanted to make those 2 quick points.
All right, appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, you have a good night. Take care.
You too.
Okay, and by the way, I I'm going to go out to University of Idaho pretty soon too. I'm waiting until their weather gets a little bit better. You know, catch them on a nice weather day where more students are out. It's still kind of cold and wet there, but that'll be soon when I go out to University of Idaho. And then again, we'll be going down to Silicon Valley to let big tech have it, and then down to LA as soon as the NBA playoffs get underway to talk about Kobe Bryant's death. So thank you to everyone who supports the work. It's only possible because of the people who make the donations and help bring in resources to make it affordable. All right, let's go out to George. What's up, George?
Oh, hello, Zach.
Yeah, hey, George, no rush tonight. If you got lots of thoughts, tonight's the perfect night because so far we don't have... There's about 6 more people on hold after you, but again, we're going to have a long show tonight with no ads. So what's on your mind?
Okay, well, gee, I normally don't. You said if I have lots of thoughts. Well, let's just see if I can muster up one. So I know that over the last few days you've done several videos on Nashville, on the shooting or the purported shooting at this Presbyterian school in Nashville. Well, I know usually we'll talk about the gematria of certain events, and I'll defer to you on that. However, something I'd like to talk to you about is the infrastructure, the political infrastructure of the city of Nashville and how Rome runs that town, as she does basically every community in the world. Case in point, just about every municipality in the United States has a police command structure. They have the police chief or commissioner and several subordinates who are under him, assistant chief, captain, and so forth. And one of the figures is a fellow by the name of Greg Blair. He's like assistant chief of police for Nashville. And it says on his website, or the city of Nashville's website, that Blair is a member of the Fraternal Order of Police.
Okay.
So for those who don't know, that is the Masonic order for law enforcement in the United States.
Right.
And if you take a look at the city council of Nashville, you'll notice that there are several prominent members there. One of whom is a fellow by the name of Brett Weathers, and he got his undergrad degree from DePaul University in Chicago, which is, even though technically speaking not Jesuit, is Catholic. Also, another member of the city council is Kathleen Murphy, and it says on her website that she's a member of St. Anne's Catholic Church in Nashville.
Okay.
So I realize that largely circumstantial evidence, but is that further proof? You know, just giving you the names of these characters, does that provide further? Does that buttress your argument that the Jesuits were behind this ritual the other day?
I would say so.
Okay. And if I can just make a couple of observations, because I've been following these events for years. Now, I'm 54 years old, and probably one of the first major events recently that I can recall is the one that took place in Connecticut in December 2012. You know what I'm referring to?
Of course I do.
Okay. I don't want to mention it by name. There was a young man named Adam who had autism and something like that, and he was, okay. Well, there are several things about this episode that reminded me of that, as well as others, such as Parkland or Uvalde, and such as, I mentioned Parkland, which took place on Valentine's Day of 2018, and one of the supposed survivors was David Hogg, or was, or is. And Hogg gave 2 different accounts as to where he was that day. The first account was he was at home, roughly 3 miles away from the school, and he got a text, I think, from his sister. So he said he got on his bike and went to school to go check things out and to interview people. In another account, Hogg said that he was actually at the campus. and he was in one of his classes, and the teacher said they should all hide underneath the desk. Now, if you go look for these videos, they've been scrubbed from YouTube.
Okay.
So, and then, okay, so now, if something like this would happen, or is supposed to have happened the other day in Nashville, and say, if it were to happen, say, in California or New York, that wouldn't be too much of a surprise because we're overtly communistic. Because the governor here, Gavin Newsom, went to Santa Clara University, and Catholic High School is basically Andrew Cuomo in a skirt. And so, however, this is somewhat surprising in a more so-called conservative or more so-called more red state like Tennessee. But the bottom line is this furthers the anti-Second Amendment agenda.
Of course.
Because even though they may not pass more draconian laws, say in Tennessee, although that's possible, that'll just be an excuse for places like California, like Illinois, like New York, and so forth. See, look at what happened at Nashville. So we definitely don't want that to happen here.
Right.
Also, just one other thing. I realize you, as you said, you have several other callers. I did read the story about Pope Francis, how he's in hospital, and I read the story, and I couldn't believe this, but they said, I forgot this, I think this is Catholic News. The source says they had to take out something like 33 centimeters of his colon.
33,
Did you catch that?
33, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't catch that.
So I just realized that was, okay, I'm sure that's just a coincidence.
Okay, yeah, here it is right here. New York Post. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Which is, which translates into 13 inches. So I guess they have things covered in both systems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, PBS got it. New York Post has it. Go.com, ABC. Yeah, they all got the same detail. Crucial. 33 centimeters of his colon was removed. Everybody needs to know.
Oh, okay. So when they throw those things like that, is it okay? This is pure. I mean, this is your bailiwick, but is it? They're letting the people who are the know, saying they're flashing a code.
It's what it always seems like. Yeah.
Okay, so it's just like if it were a normal person, like your grandfather or your next door neighbor, they probably would not include that in the story.
No, and I mean, just why does it need to be so specific? Why is it always the same number?
Indeed, as you like to say. Well, anyhow, I guess today's first day of Major League Baseball, if I'm not mistaken.
Tomorrow is. All 30 teams for the first time playing on the 30th. Yeah, you might want to take advantage. It looks like it's going to be a glorious day in the world of sports gambling. So I put out my notes for tomorrow's games for free. Yeah, I think a lot of people will benefit.
Okay, so, well, as you said, you had at least 5 or 6 other people on hold, so I guess I better let you get to them. So, well, I guess I'll talk to you soon, Zach.
All right, appreciate it, George. You have a good night.
You do.
All right, take care. All right, let's go out to 302. I haven't heard from him for a while. What's up, 302?
Not too much, Zach. Yeah, I'll make my phone call a little short, but I just think it's astounding how the shooting happened, and then I'm seeing articles out here in Raleigh and Durham about people giving their guns away to the police department, for gift cards, and there's people out here giving away their their Jason Tatum straps, like they're giving away their thump dumps, the guns that really cost a lot of money, back to the police force. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, what are you thinking by giving your guns back to the police departments for gift cards? And the average person out here, they want to, they have a girlfriend. Or say for example, one of your friends, has a girlfriend, and they're out and about in a random city, and they try, and somebody, someone tries to test them, and they don't have a gun, and it's just, to me, it's just astounding because, we need protection on us because you never know what someone could try to do to you. You never know if somebody might try to test you or might try to try you. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's astounding, and I'm gonna get a gun. I'm gonna get a gun soon too myself because this is getting out of hand. How they're trying to take away the right to bear arms, and people out here are talking crazy like, oh well, we don't need guns, and and it's like, well, yeah, we need guns because I don't want to see us in like China, or like Australia or New Zealand or places like that to where only the police have guns. It's crazy how people are giving away their Rambo guns, aka Sylvester Stallone straps, and these are like hardcore guns that have like 25 clip magazines on them and have all these major upgrades, and people are giving them away. It's like, what are you doing? To me it's baffling. I don't understand it, and I think it's really funny how in that picture you showed earlier about how the transgender had on two different types of shoes. I didn't even know that. I'm like, yo, how can they just sit here and punk people like that? And then the funny part is there was nobody even in the school, and them gunshots literally sounded like blanks to me. Those gunshots in the school didn't even sound like real gunshots.
Yeah.
And to remind myself, I remember when I was back in middle school and high school, we used to have, drills, and they would pretend as if there was somebody in the school going around doing whatever, and we would hide under the desk, or teachers would lock the doors and cut the lights off, and that's all it is nowadays. These are just drills, and I'm pretty sure people who listen to me right now can remember this, being in high school, and the principal coming over the loudspeaker and saying, okay, students of whatever, such a high school, this is a code red, code yellow, which means there's a quote unquote active shooter in the building, take precaution, and and essentially they're just getting people ready for this, actually like getting their minds like actually desensitized to think that this kind of shit is real, knowing it's not. These are just drills. They're military drills, just to fuck with your mind. Like, how is it that nobody at this school had a gun on them? You know what I'm saying? Like, so supposedly like a random person drove around casually, got out the whip, and started thumping off a gun, started busting out chrome. Man, hell no. How come somebody there didn't have a gun? You know what I'm saying? And pop the motherfucker in his leg real quick and take the gun away from them, and it makes the situation better. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, it's astounding that this kind of shit gets away every single day, and people want to buy into it and call me crazy for saying the video is fake, because I obviously know the video is fake. Like, it's nothing real about it, and it reminds me of the shooting that happened in Colorado at the grocery store and the Buffalo shooting. People are dropping dead and there's no blood. How do you get shot by a shotgun and your body not decapitate? How do you get shot by a Smith & Wesson pistol and like there's no blood popping out? And in the video, someone said, "Oh, if you go to the 5 minute and 16 mark, you can see a body on the ground." How do you know if those bodies are dummies? They can be planting dummies in the buildings of these schools and acting like as if it's a person and blurring it out. So long story short, the people who think these shootings are real, their minds are getting desensitized to shit that's not even real, and they're thinking it's real, and they're being pumped every single day. So, like, for anybody out there, stop going out, stop buying dumb shit, stop buying all this hoo-ha that won't help you. Cop a hunting rifle with 223 rounds that can bust on a deer for you. You know what I'm saying? Get some fishing poles. You know what I'm saying? Get a pistol, handgun, something, because sooner or later, we're not going to be the own guns. I hate to say it, like, sooner or later, we're not going to be the own guns. Sooner or later, we're not going to be the only guns. You know what I'm saying?
On that topic, you reminded me of something I meant to say at the beginning. So again, they said the shooter's 28 years old, and the shooting happened exactly 28 weeks from the anniversary of the 94 assault weapons ban. And speaking of that being in 94, that's the year this film Tranny Get Your Gun came out, 94. But here's the thing, they put out they put out the shooter's supposed birthday. It's March 24th. And that means, so the assault weapons ban was September 13th. And that was the perfect way to do it, perfect day to do it, because it's the 256th day of the year, and assault weapons ban equals 256, and the day can be written 13/9, and gun control's 139. But from that day, from the anniversary, well, actually from the day of the assault weapons ban, September 13th, 94, to the day that this person was born, Audrey Hale, born March 24th, 95, that means they were born 192 days later, and just assault weapons is 192. You might recall last year around the time of the Uvalde shooting, like they kept coding 192 into every single shooting event, and I was pointing that out. Happened like in 4 straight mass shootings. There was a ton of shootings around the time of Uvalde. Buffalo, Uvalde, and then a whole bunch of other little ones. One in Tulsa on the anniversary of the race riots and more, but they kept coding 192 into all of them. So now we have, again, the 28-year-old, as they, Biden, the first thing Biden said is we need another, actually the first thing Biden said when he was playing the slow Joe character is he said, this soulless nation, and then he corrected himself, the soul of the nation. But I guarantee you it wasn't an accident, again, that he said soulless nation, because it is true. If people had a soul, they'd see through this government that rules with these tyrannical methods and the nonstop lies and propaganda, which includes 9/11, the pandemic, and everything else. But again, just perfect ritual, just the dates, the numbers. It's all so crucial, and it's all about where we're going to. The one thing that's good news is it's hard to imagine that there'd be an assault weapons ban anytime soon because there's so many Republicans in Congress right now, unless even they're going to flip. But eventually it will happen. Eventually we will lose more and more of our rights, and we'll lose in a way you could already argue that we've lost our First and Second Amendment because there's already so many restrictions on all these things. I mean, go drive with your gun in your car down the interstate and cross state lines and get pulled over and see what happens. Have fun in prison.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, this stuff is absolutely perfect, their little rituals that they got. And it's just unbelievable to find out that there was a film called Tranny Get Your Gun in 94. So
that's so odd. But I have one more thing. Pistol purchase permits will no longer be issued by the Alamance County Sheriff's Department here in North Carolina. The law regarding this issue of pistol purchase permits by sheriffs in North Carolina has been repealed. Effective immediately, any person seeking to purchase or transfer a handgun in North Carolina is no longer required to apply to the sheriff for a pistol purchase permit. All pistol purchase permitting laws in North Carolina have been eliminated by the enactment of Senate Bill 41, Guarantee Second Amendment Freedom and Protections. Senate Bill 41 was approved by the General Assembly and sent by Governor Roy Cooper for his signature on March 16, 2023. The governor had 10 days to veto the bill to avoid the bill becoming law, and the bill was vetoed by the governor on March 24, 2023. The bill was then sent back to the General Assembly to see whether or not there was sufficient support to override the governor's veto.
Okay.
And all this shit's going on. I think it's like the timing is this. I don't know. The timing is this perfect. To me, the timing is perfect.
Yeah. That's how they do it. So, I just had one more thought. About what they're doing here. So, the 94 assault weapons ban expired in 2004. And that means this year in August will be the 19-year anniversary of it expiring. And this shooting in Tennessee happened on a date that had 19 numerology as well. They compared it to Uvalde, where 19 children were killed. And they said that this shooting in Tennessee was the 19th shooting of the year at a school. So, I don't know, unless they get a bunch of Republicans to decide to go for it.
Yeah, it's just crazy because Nashville, Tennessee is one of the biggest cities for bachelor and bachelorette parties. And I'm pretty sure there's thousands of people who want to get married in Nashville, and they see this and like, oh, well, we're not going to have a bachelorette party or wedding in Nashville, because there's been a shooting there. And now Nashville might lose money for bachelor and bachelorette parties because Nashville, Tennessee is one of the biggest wedding cities to go to, to get married in. And now they might lose money because of that, because of a quote unquote fake shooting. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just scares people away. Like some girl might want to get married in Nashville and cut the TV on and see and heard about the shootings, and she's like, oh well, I don't want to go to Nashville and get married. I might get shot by somebody or something like that. You know, it's all this is to put fear in people. It's fear mongering people.
Well,
The
other thing I just think about is how many videos and channels I've lost for this exact reason, for covering stories like this and pointing out these patterns, and then you'll get a notification from YouTube that your channel's been deleted for cyberbullying, and it's like, who am I bullying? I'm exposing essentially I'm exposing the real bully, the federal government that's putting all these fears and ideas in people's heads. And imagine all the little kids that think it's real, and now they go to school and think they can be shot next. I'm doing this to stop the real bully, and then I'm getting taken down by Google with all these Silicon Valley communists. Again, that's the other big joke. TikTok equals 23 on the 23rd of the month. Congress was getting real tough on the, Chinese communist TikTok. It's like, that platform has more freedom of speech than any of these American, big tech companies.
And the crazy part is, I went on Facebook a couple of days ago. Like, on Facebook Live, there was someone got shot on Facebook Live a couple of days ago. Got their head blown off. So, like, what? Like, you can go on Facebook and YouTube and look up like drive-by shootings on YouTube if you wanted to. Like, it's crazy how they want to ban TikTok, but you can go on YouTube and look up people getting their heads cut off on YouTube and see like live shootings on Facebook of people like in Miami Gardens, Florida, like carrying their AK-47s, like thumping off gunshots. Like, it's to me, it's astounding and amazing. You know what I'm saying? But long story short, next gun show, I'm copping a strap, whether it's a hunting rifle, whether it's like a Winchester, Remington, a 22 rifle, whatever. I'm copping a single shot shotgun, a pistol grip pump, a whatever, a pump action shotty. I'm copping something. You know what I'm saying? Just have something on me. You know what I'm saying? Have something on me. I don't care if it's a shotgun, single shot, pistol grip pump, a Winchester rifle, hunting rifle, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Hell nah, fuck this shit. I'll be damned to go down if I haven't done myself. Hell nah.
Yeah, again, I mean, if you don't own any guns, you should get them now, because you just never know how fast the laws could change in your state. Again, here in Washington State, if you don't have an assault weapon, there's a good chance you might never be able to own one, because the law is that if you do not have it already purchased by the time they get their bill through, and in Washington State, they drag their feet on the background check. It's like when I got my rifle, I probably had to wait close to a month, even though it's not supposed to take that long. And then their excuse was Washington said a bunch of their employees were sick with COVID at the time. Again, I used to have all these weapons way before COVID, but I lost everything when my house got raided on 2014, and then my whole neighbor situation who robbed the house and then went out and filed the restraining order. Then I wasn't legally able to own guns, and I was like, wow, look at this. You get robbed by your neighbor, and then he rushes to court and files a restraining order even though he robbed your house, and the judge upholds it, and next thing you know, you can't even own a weapon. But yeah, anyway, I'm not in that situation anymore. So
I hope we have more time. All I hope is, I have more time to save up some bread and cop something. That's what, I'm saying. All I want more time, because these Jesuits are out here fucking people hard.
Well, yeah, yeah, they have made it real expensive. Guns used to not be expensive. When I bought my guns, the first time I bought them when I was a lot younger, in my early 20s, I mean, ammo, guns, they were a fraction of the cost they are now. It's crazy. I mean, just you get a canister of 223 rounds. It's like you got to save up almost $1,000. It's crazy how expensive everything is. So, Anyway, man, I do appreciate the call. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, you have a good night. Yeah, take care. All right, let's go out to 639 Canada. What's up, Canada? Canada? Hello, Canada, 639, the magic numbers. The Nikola Tesla area code. I guess it got so magical they disappeared. All right, let's go out to 346. Unknown, it says. 346.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, how's it going?
Yeah, what's up?
All right, so have you heard about the FedMo?
Have I heard about what?
Fed now?
I don't know. Your TV's louder than you are, and I don't know what you're saying.
Oh, hold on. Give me a second. All right. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
That's better.
Okay. Yeah, so I wanted to talk real quick about about something called the Fed Now service. I don't know if you've heard of it or not.
I haven't. Fed now. I have not. Hello? Okay. Their call dropped for some reason. Let's go out to 562. 562? 562. Okay. Also must just be listening tonight. Let's go out to 916. 916, you're on.
Hey, Zach,
Yeah,
can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, this is Jesse from Sacramento again. It's my second time calling in.
Welcome back.
Hey, did you type in Pope hospitalized?
Nope.
Yeah, Pope hospitalized equals 88 and then 74.
Okay, on the 88th day of the year. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you typed that in. I was kind of like seeing how kind of everything syncs up here with talking about the shooting. Because you were talking about the shoes that she was wearing. She was wearing Puma shoes, right? And then she ended up wearing
Vans.
Vans,
the trans
right?
and the Vans.
Yeah. So, hey, so those shoes, the Vans, weren't they like an orange color? Like kind of like a...
Yeah, like a yellow and a red stripe on the side where the Pumas are just black and white.
Yeah, kind of like vision that as kind of like flames or something.
Okay.
I don't know. And then you said shoes equals 66, right?
Like mass shooting, and it was 66 days for the state's birthday.
Yeah. So on that same day, I guess was that the fire with the immigrants in Juarez, Mexico?
Yes, it was. Another 201 ritual synced
Because
up.
Juarez, Mexico equals 66 too.
Ah, interesting. Yeah, the name of that facility
You know
where
what
they
I'm saying?
burned up equals 135, and again, the fire was 135 days after the Superior General's birthday, the leader of the Jesuits. Go ahead.
Okay. And then you have, I don't know if you heard about the referee that died. I think he died yesterday, but it came out in the news today.
I didn't.
Bill Levy.
I didn't.
So if you spell out his first name, Bill, it equals 35, 17, 73, and 28. And 28 goes with the shooter, which was 28.
Oh, he's dead at
And then the
76.
73,
He's dead at 76 on the 76 date numerology. Go figure.
Yeah, he died 44 days after his birthday, and referee equals 44, and referee equals 37, and his name equals 37.
Okay.
You get that?
Okay, yeah. Perfect.
So I just seen that. I try when I do decodes, I'm kind of like, I already got like maybe a couple years like listening to you or more, but I try not to like dissect too much, because if I do that with people, I'll kind of lose people like really fast.
Exactly.
So
Just
try
keep
to,
it simple. It's just
simple
like I was
as
saying.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I always say the same thing. Just like I was saying at the beginning, I just gave people a few numbers. 86, 33. I mean, big numbers on the shooting, enough for most people to follow. So.
Yeah. I'd like to like bring up like the organic side of the numerology too, man, because that's even like more mind blowing. Like to me, I mean, all this stuff you kind of already kind of see it, you know, what's going on, but the organic side of it, I've done a lot of organic decodes with myself, and like, yeah, that's even more mind blowing.
Sure.
Just to bring that up, but
yeah, there is an organic side.
yeah, but it's just crazy to see how everything syncs up, and it's just crazy how people just don't see it, man.
I don't get how people can't catch on. It's the same stuff day after day, and it's just like I don't know, a society that's out to lunch. It's like stealing candy from a baby.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Exactly. But yeah, thanks, man, for all your work, man. I told you I was here in Sacramento, and I'm looking forward to you coming to LA. I'll drive up there to go see you from Sacramento. So it's probably like a 7-hour drive.
You'll be closer.
It'll be worth it, man.
I'm stopping through Silicon Valley if you want to come out for that one. That'll be closer for you.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'll take some time off, and then I'll drive up there to meet you up there in LA or wherever.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that.
I appreciate it, man.
Very cool. Thank you.
That's all I had, man. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, you have a good night. Thank you.
You too.
You too. All right. California bound soon. 214, you're on. What's up, 214?
Hey, Zach, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Thank you.
Good, Zach. How are you?
Doing well.
Good, man. This is Steven from Mansfield. I got a new phone number. Did you see on the news today in Hawaii, 33 swimmers are charged with harassing dolphins?
Harassing dolphins. Amazing. Where's Flipper?
Yeah, they were in the ocean, and there's a photograph from like a helicopter, and there's dolphins, and these apparently 33 swimmers are being mean to dolphins, and that's actually against the law, of course, and Hawaii equals 33.
Wow.
It's always 33.
Yeah. What a joke. I'm sure there's a Flipper tribute.
That was.
Did you go back and look at Flipper? I'm sure there's. I bet you there. I bet you it's synced up with the show. I bet you if I just go look at it, we'll find out how it's synced up.
Does Flipper equal 33? I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm just thinking it's probably synced up with the old Flipper show.
You're probably right. You know, Flipper died a few years ago. He was still alive, and they say he killed himself because he was tired of swimming around in circles in that pool.
Really?
I don't know if that's true. Yeah, they said he came up for one last air for his blowhole and went back down and never came back up. That's depressing because dolphins swim over 100 miles or more each day in the ocean, and then they capture them and put them in the tank, and they just go in circles. I mean, can you imagine how bored they are? But yeah. Now, the other thing I wanted to say real quick is what I'm looking at. I took some notes, and I wanted to share something with you if I could find what I wrote. I liked what you did about the shoes. I didn't catch that. You made that video about the trainees' shoes. One was Puma, and then later it switched to Nike. Right.
Vans. Puma to Vans.
Oh, it was Vans. It was Vans, not Nike. First it was Puma, then it was Vans.
Right.
Correct?
Right.
Yeah, But anyway, they said she drove up in a Honda Fit. Honda Fit equals 139, and then Fit alone equals 17.
Nice timing. Yeah. Gun control 139. 139 the 34th prime. The assault weapons ban on 13/9.
Oh, excellent. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, and then the word fit by itself equals 17, as in kill, and then Honda equals 42, like Freemason.
And gun. That's what the Honda Fit detail is about, no doubt about it. 139.
That's why they
like gun control.
That's why they had her in the Honda. Yeah. All right, brother. That's all I really got right now. And I love you, Zach, man. You're cool. You're cool. I look forward to you every day. You changed my whole life. I'm an expert at this gematria thing now. I can spot everything instantly, especially when they say 33 swimmers.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Or if the news says today a 33-year-old man drowned at Lake Grapevine, it's like, oh, not 31, not 35, not 21 years old. No, it's always 33. So
right.
No one, they do that every summer. It's like they're going to have fake drownings. I don't know if they do. They probably do that in every city, but here in Dallas-Fort Worth, we have some lakes, and I've noticed year after year, they always, they're going to have one or two or three people throughout the year that drown, and usually they're 33 years old. It's totally,
Yeah. It is.
All right, Zach. I love you, man. You take care. I'll talk to you next week.
All right. Appreciate the support. Thank you. You have a good night, friend.
Bye-bye.
All right, yeah, take care. All right, let's go out to North Carolina. What's up, North Carolina? North Carolina, 980? 980. All right, they must just be listening tonight. Let's go out to Cam Newton's #1 fan. What's up?
Yo,
Yo.
the Nashville Predators played last night. It was their first game since the big incident.
Okay.
And number 36 and number 8 scored for the Predators. And 36 plus 8 equals 44, just like Predators and that other word that begins with S.
Sure.
So how perfect, how perfect. I mean, they had this shit so perfect. The second goal of the game for the Predators, they won the game 2-1. And, yeah, number 36 and number 8. And one of the players' last name was Glass. Like in the video, you see the glass get shattered. And the other, number 36, he scored 151 days after his birthday. And 151 is the 36th prime. I called in yesterday, and I brought up how the Predators were 36 and 36 going into their 73rd game, and 73 was a huge number in the incident. And I noted how 36 is the 666 is the 36th triangular number, and this is all a satanic agenda. And then, of course, number 36 scores a goal 151 days after his birthday. And 151 is the 36th prime number. And the Predators, they were playing Boston. And Boston's having a season for the ages. They're having one of the best seasons ever for a regular season. And Boston Bruins equals 51. Mass S equals 51. Oh, what a coincidence that the Predators are in Boston Bruins after the big Mass S. Oh, what a coincidence. And what a coincidence that they pick up their 37th win of the season when that word, 44 forwards, 37 in reverse. And it happened on a 37 date numerology. And just their 37th win. Are you serious? And the Bruins got their 12th loss in regulation. And 37 is the 12th prime. So if you're anybody out there listening that thinks, I'm not really with these beliefs, your beliefs make it seem like the government's bad. These aren't beliefs. This is completely evidence-based. The odds that this would line up in this way is completely impossible unless it was all completely staged. And, yeah, just really back like 36 and number 8 are going to score. I just want to pound that point home. But anybody thinking that it's not rigged, 36 plus 8 is 44.
The difference of those numbers is... The difference is 28 as well, just going with the 28-year-old shooter and exactly 28 weeks from the assault weapons ban. And again, I just want to emphasize this point one more time now that we have the shooter's birthday. Again, they were born just after the assault weapons ban, September 13th, 94. Born 192 days after the assault weapons ban. The assault weapons ban was on the 256th day of the year, and assault weapons ban equals 256. And then assault weapons alone is 192, which is what they're targeting. And again, that date that they were banned, 13/9, gun control's 139, and they had to give you the detail that they drove in a Honda Fit. And again, I mean, it's just, this is what we've been talking about for a decade, you guys, that all the details of the story are encoded pieces of propaganda that show you what the agenda's about. I mean, we've talked about the number 139 in these mass shootings a gazillion times. Parkland was a huge 139, and then you got the March for Our Lives and That was a huge 86 thing, the March for Our Lives. Now you have this shooting at a school on the 86th day. They're on the 86th meridian. And again, what are they really 86ing? They're 86ing our rights and liberties. So, yeah, and it's just sports and news synced up again and again. And Nashville Predators, just the name alone. I mean,
yeah, 83 in the most pure cipher.
And the shooter's born on the 83rd day of the year, March 24th.
I didn't. Yeah, I'm just catching that. I didn't know the shooter's birthday, but March 24th, just like Tamar Hamlin, really.
Yeah, and then I mean the other thing you get, the other parallel is we know murder equals 83, and it also equals 79. The other murder story in in Tennessee this year was the Tyree Nichols story, and that was on January 7th, so 79 days before the school shooting. Murder 79, 83. And then remember, Tyree Nichols equaled 58, and Covenant School's 58, and they compared it to Uvalde, and it's 58 days for the anniversary of Uvalde, and Freemasonry and Secret Society are 58. I mean, again, you give people too many things, it overwhelms them, but the fact of the matter is, these same numbers that point to these secret societies, that point to these same agendas, just come up over and over again, so...
Yeah, and just 243 again, like, I know people out there, like, it's not too many numbers though. Like 243 is a huge number that always comes up in these rituals too. So
because for people who don't know, Central Intelligence Agency's 243. It's like when the OKC bombing blew up. It was 243 days after Clinton's birthday. And it's funny. I almost talked about that number before they even put out her birthday, because when you write out March 27th, the day of the shooting, it equals 243 forwards and backwards. And now the shooter's birthday is 24/3. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Just gonna leave it there for now. But thanks for taking my call, Zach. And peace.
All right, man. Take care. Let's go out to Iowa. Is it RPM Trey? What's up, Iowa?
What up, Zach?
Is this RPM Trey?
Yes, it is.
Thanks for calling in.
Oh, hell yeah. You know, when you start talking that gun shit, I was going to chime in.
Well, you got the floor.
Hell yeah. Hi, will you two please go upstairs? Of course, my kids will come right. They left me alone the whole time I was on hold.
Is that funny?
And now they want to hide. Hey, bye, get out of here. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, with the gun thing, man, you know how I feel about it. I really feel like where I be coming from be so absolute, it be so close, it be so much the bottom line that I think other so-called 2A advocates, I think they scared of me. I don't think they like the way I talk about it because I speak in the absolutes, man. And the way I see it is, with all of the attempts for gun control, whether it works or not is almost irrelevant to me. I don't think it's going to work, but I don't like the fact that they're saying it and that they're doing it, because they're okay with the tiptoe. If it doesn't work now, it's going to work eventually, I think. They're going to find some way. And if they keep ramping up all of these fake-ass shootings, I think they really want to try to garner some sympathy and some urgency behind doing something that maybe has never been done before, where they really put the brakes on what they call these gun rights that they're treating like somehow they're privileges, but they're not, though. All that constitutional shit, all that amendment shit, all that shit is whack. For all of these 2A advocates that swear that they stand for the Second Amendment, I would like to ask a lot of these guys what they would do if they won this war on paper. If the government won this war on paper and say, hey, this is what we're doing. All that shit you've been talking doesn't matter anymore. There's a mandatory buyback or a registry or whatever, and they just start marching us in the same direction that governments of the world have marched their own people right before they add to the body count for the democide bullshit of how many dead bodies governments can rack up in their own country upon their own fucking people. That shit has happened way too many times for us to be watching this shit happen again, like it's not going to happen here because God bless America. Ain't none of that shit going to matter. They have to get us in the same state as far as the financial system and the way we view gun ownership we all got to get the way the rest of the world is for them to do this one world government bullshit that they want to do. There's no way they're going to achieve that while leaving us the fuck alone. But we know for damn sure that's exactly what they want, and they think they're going to get it. So it's not that hard to see that the finish line for them is them getting these guns, whether we like it or not, whether we expect it or not, for it to actually happen. And I think with everything else that's moving around, they kind of have to make this happen pretty soon here, I think. The fact of the matter is, the Constitution, we don't fucking need it, and we need to show them and ourselves, prove to ourselves that we know that we don't need that shit. Because if they want it on paper, how many of these hardcore gun rights activists would say that if they win it on paper, then they will submit their guns to the government if they can win the paper battle? None of those guys really feel like they're going to give up if they win on paper. So I'm telling them and the government, throw this shit out right now. Why the fuck are we playing this fucking game with them? Tell them to fucking throw it out and tap the keg. I want to see what happens, because I'm not going to back down if they win on paper. So why are we playing the game? I don't want to play no more games no more with them. I want them to just tap the fucking keg so we can see what's up. Because they really think they got this shit in the bag because they smell pussy, bro. They don't think we're going to do anything, but I think that we would. But they need to go for it, and we need to realize that if that's what it's going to be, then do it now. I don't want my kids to have to deal with this shit or fighting about this shit. No, none of that. I'm getting older. Some of my kids are young. My oldest child is 19 years old. I don't want to do none of this shit no more, man. All of the playing, all of the fear-mongering, the up and down roller coaster of the fucking bullshit. I'm tired of all of this shit, man, because I know where the finish line is. It's like, you can't tell me the end of the fucking story and then expect me to watch the movie with some kind of enthusiasm.
Right.
It's going to lose its thunder like that. But I already know where they want to go. I don't want to play no more. I'm tired of it. I'm curious to see what they would do if they cross that line and what we would do when we watch them cross the line yet again. They draw the line, and here we come, drawing our line in the sand, and when they cross that, we take 5 paces back and draw another line. Man, fuck all that shit. All that shit looks crazy to me, that we even give them the authority and that we play their game even. I think it's funny when they talk about that gun control shit. Because I know at the end of it, they have to go too far, and we have to either stand up or let them do it. Fuck all of that in between playing and shit. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, all of us who are awake are, and there's a reason they move at a really slow pace. I mean, think about it this way. The children who were just starting elementary school when Sandy Hook happened back in 2012, they're almost all voting age now. And this whole generation's grown up with nonstop fear, and that guns are really bad, and they've been living in fear in school because there's been nonstop news stories about mass shootings in schools. And I mean, little kids, I mean, they're susceptible to what's on the TV, and most of them don't have any parents with any common sense. So they're probably, just pounding home the same message. You're going to have a generation before long that's the majority that grew up with all this fear and hates guns and is ready to just totally give up their rights and liberties. And they'll think that they've done a great revolutionary act. And I think that's why the cabal works the way they do, slowly but surely, because they know that generation's coming. So,
and it's always so frustrating to me to watch it, because I think that every time there's this fear-driven story in the media, I'm surprised that people don't have the natural reaction to say, well, maybe they should get exempt, because of course the government isn't in control of anything. They're not in control of shit, actually. They can't keep cocaine out of a maximum security prison. They're not going to be able to keep me safe when the bad guy has the gun and he doesn't give a fuck about nothing. I should be able to match his energy. And this is not even a debate, really. We don't need the Constitution. This is a natural thing. Like, I mean that so wholeheartedly when I point to the nature of all of this, that I am fucking flabbergasted. And I never use that fucking word, Zach, but I am flabbergasted. I cannot believe all of these tough guys with this rah, go America shit is actually standing by watching them do this shit and they're actually playing ball. Motherfuckers should have swarmed D.C. a long time ago. And not us. It should be state police and the fucking U.S. military turning to them going, hey, don't do that. Definitely don't do that at a time where the balloon is exposed to our security for being not fucking airtight, pun intended. We picking fights with Russia and China. Who knows what the fuck is really going on or what's going to turn, what all of that is going to turn into. Jen Napolitano keeps pointing to the fucking grid like, watch out. And that seems kind of spooky because it's vulnerable and then people try different things. Other shit come up by the numbers, of course, in the news with some guy taking a shot at one of the fucking some PowerPoint of the grid. There's like, what, 9 or 12 of them or something like that. Some guy took a shot at one with a rifle, some shit like that. Here comes the rifle. And the crisis. They keep mixing the fucking gun any place they can to make you scared of the gun and to make you not trust anybody with the fucking gun. But the police, which is strange to me, because at the same time, everybody's rallying against the fucking cops with this fucking defund the police, and the police can't be trusted, and all this other shit going on, but y'all want them to be the only ones with the gun. What the fuck is happening, bro? I don't know what the fuck is going on. It is psychosis. I shouldn't have to beg grown-ass fucking men to be real, to be brave, and call a fucking spade a spade when they see it, and then look to all of these crazy motherfuckers and say, the jig is up. We can see you. Back down or put your fucking hands up.
Indeed.
We should bring in the ultimatum to them, and we won't bring the ultimatum to them. They are going to keep marching forward, man.
They are going to keep marching forward, and yeah, I mean, I've been trying to ignite a revolution, so have you, and I mean, sadly, you know, I mean, the people aren't coming in behind us like they should, so, I mean, we got to keep doing our part. Hopefully something sparks people, but yeah, I actually do think if the government, if they really tried to, like you said, just, you know, bring it all forward, I'm afraid there'd be very few people who'd stand up for our rights and liberties. I think it would be a really small turnout.
I think so too. Nobody wants to be the lone wolf, the lone ranger. You don't want to be an isolated incident of standing up to this shit because you're going to look crazy. You might throw your life away with no fucking backup when maybe you would, I don't know, maybe you'll feel like you should have preserved yourself for a better fight, to pick your battles well. No one wants to go out on a limb with this shit. That's part of the issue. Another part of the issue is that people think that challenging them about the shit and putting your foot down means fighting them, but you don't really got to fight them. I think verbally calling them out, taking a visual stance where you completely stop the fucking show so that they see you, and then you turn your back on them. They will fight you if no one pays taxes, no one goes to fucking court, no one does none of that shit. They'll all be like, oh my fucking God, what do you guys want? What the fuck is going to, how are they going to handle that? They can't handle that with nothing but the fucking hammer, because they are hoping to find nothing but nails. That's all they got is the violence at the end of the day. The hypnosis, of course, but the violence. Constitution, what? Background check, what, motherfucker? We don't need none of that shit. We're not even supposed to be letting y'all do it. It's not supposed to be up for discussion. How the fuck are we supposed to be praising the founding forefathers for writing the Constitution that put us in a 250-year fight over the same shit as if it wasn't even there? That looks fucking retarded. I think the genius in what they did is not only was the Constitution just a checklist to let us know when it's fucking go time, but they're also trying to tell us that if they wrote this to be this fucking saving grace, you don't got to be a constitutional lawyer to know that the deal is off the table. It's not even to be discussed. And if it is, you know, you got a problem. If they gain ground on you, you're supposed to be fighting already. For them to get this far, they got us by a long shot now, I think. It'll be a fucking uphill battle, but it's always worth fighting. But peaceful non-compliance is the name of the game. And we can get their attention real big and then turn our backs on them, watch them fight us to start the fight, and then we revolt. But we can't not fire the first shot. That's for damn sure. Don't do that, nobody. Don't do that shit. That's crazy. But you can provoke them into revealing themselves for being tyrannical. Make them go 100% tyrannical in front of everybody by turning your back.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So
it'll be undeniable. It'll be undeniable, man, to everybody. And I think people will have the courage to go, oh my fucking God, looks like we have to fight, huh? Because they're fucking fighting us and no one here is fighting. This is defense now.
Yeah, it is defense. I mean, and we should have started our offensive defense a while back. I mean, again, the thing that was so sad is just what they got away with in COVID. I mean, COVID, it was just the obvious biggest lie there ever was, and then they told everybody to stay home and give up their businesses and their livelihood, and I mean, almost everybody just marched along and didn't say a peep and put on their slave muzzle, and that was that. So it's like they already went through their little simulation, and the next time, you know, they pull the card, it's going to be even worse. But
it is, and that's why we're trying to get people to like kind of wake up and to just be on guard a bit. That when they keep doing the predictable, tyrannical shit, that we go, we kind of knew you were going to do that. We're kind of 2 steps ahead of y'all, so we're already saying, fuck you. Welcome to the fucking jungle, motherfucker. And then we just give them what it is that they're asking for, a real confrontation. That they have to start peaceful noncompliance when we turn our backs. That's it. That would be fucking dope. But when this COVID shit happened, I didn't fucking sleep for like 2 or 3 nights after they announced this shit. It fucked my whole head up because I knew that this was the beginning of something that was never going to go away, that they were going to use this shit. I was doing open carry demonstrations before COVID. After COVID, a fucking cop actually stopped me and said, hey, don't be letting people hug you. I said, don't let people hug me? Is it illegal to get a hug out here right now in a world like this? Fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. And I just went on about my day, man, and they never stopped me again. Hugging everybody. Fuck them. Tell me not to hug somebody. That's crazy.
Indeed it is, man. And we live in a crazy world. So, and if you call out the craziness, you get called crazy. That's the other problem. So.
Well, whether we do it peacefully or whether it's a bumpy ride, none of it matters to me. If they fucking tap the keg, I'm gonna fucking drink the juice. Just tell me when to fucking go. I'm fucking tired, bro. It's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
They should fucking relax.
Yeah, we share the exact same sentiment. So we need more men to share the same sentiment.
I just want the bad guy to get punched in his fucking nose in the fucking cafeteria so bad, man. That's what I want. You know what I'm saying? Just for the bad guy to know that, bro, you don't run this shit. You thought you were going to win this fight, and now you're fucking bleeding all over your fucking polo. Now, like, that's what I want to see in the fucking cafeteria, but people don't know we're in a fight like that. This motherfucker has cracked 3 or 4 of your mama jokes. He done spilled your milk into your fucking book bag. He's got his fist in your fucking shirt right now, and you're looking around like, is this going to be a fight? Yes, it's going to be a fucking fight, bro. The government has been fighting the fuck out of us since they established this shit. 250 years of fight over the same fucking shit. Like, I can't say what I want and carry my gun. Fuck all of them, bro. This is crazy. 250 years of fighting about the same shit. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, I totally get it, man. Again, you and I, we share the exact same thoughts, so.
Yeah, man. Thanks for giving me a little time to vent, man. You know I be going, but fuck, man. I just wanna save people, man. I hate the idea of the bad guy winning in front of everybody.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're watching play out. And the sad thing is, the bad guys got people so brainwashed they think the good guys are the bad guys. So just go to Seattle, you'll be amazed.
Yeah.
You'll be amazed at the people in Seattle. They hate all the good guys.
I hear fucking nightmares, man. And me being right next to the state of Illinois, where they have legalized marijuana in Illinois, but not here in Iowa. But over here in Iowa, I can carry my rifle out on the street and actually get waves from police officers from time to time. But over in Illinois, not only would the cops shoot me down, that the police department that would do that and the public that would witness that would think that the police were in the right, not realize that I've been doing over 100 of these in other fucking places where as soon as you tell people not to react to me like that, everything becomes fine. But as soon as you tell people to react to me a certain way, then shit get chaotic. But the contradiction is right there over the fucking Mississippi River, right here where I live at. And it's a fucking shame staring at the contradiction, knowing what would happen in both scenarios. This is fucking ridiculous.
Indeed it is. It is, man.
Thanks for the time.
Yeah, I was just going to say, for all the people out there who do not know this man on the phone speaking, check out his YouTube channel because he has a really great campaign. He's out on the corner. He's got a great message. He's got his weapon with him, and it says, hug an AR owner. He's totally countering what the media is trying to do, make it seem like only bad people have guns. And then he's out here saying, come give me a hug. I'm only standing up for our rights and liberties. So...
And that's exactly what people do. I got many hugs and honks and waves of support from strangers, all types of strangers all over the streets. I completely ruined it for them. If there's ever a day where they have to address me by my firearms and they win, it'll be forever known that they've done something terrible to the guy that was hugging people with his gun and never hurt nobody. So fuck them. I win morally. I already spoiled their shit. It's already too fucking late. Now I'm just waiting for it.
Indeed. Well, I appreciate it, Trey. Keep up the great work. Thanks for calling in tonight, and thanks for what you do. Trey's very active, people. Please support his channel.
Yeah. Please do. I got to get my views up. 1 million people should be hearing me and Zach talk this shit because this is what they fear the most, man. The knowledge and the willingness to fight them no matter what the consequences are. You need those two things.
Indeed. Indeed.
All right, peace, man. Good
All right,
night, man.
You have a good night. Thank you.
Yeah. Love y'all.
Appreciate it, Trey. Yeah, again, you guys, RPM Trey's channel, he does great work. He pounds pavement, and he definitely deserves more views. Let's go out to 321. 321.
Hey, Zach.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, yeah. So the shooting is part of that Homeland Security exercise evaluation program, which they use. They spell it out as HSEET. You put that in Gematria, you get a 53 for that as well, just like the lady's name has a 53 in it.
Makes sense.
Oh yeah, and then she's wearing a red baseball cap, which equals 47 as well. And then I saw one post where you had the one lady that's the Highland Park survivor, Ashley Beasley.
In all honesty, I'm not sure the red hat's really about the gematria, but just think about who wears the red hat everywhere, right? Trump. And over the weekend, Trump was down in Waco talking about guns. And of course, Netflix just put out a new special on Waco and the ATF raid. And then they said the ATF was on the scene at this shooting. I mean, that should be a red flag to everyone right there. Why was ATF at the school? I mean, it tells you all you need to know. It's obviously a drill.
Right, yeah. And the school had a drill, I think 13 months before the shooting even happened.
Yeah, go figure.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah. And then, yeah, like I said, the Highland Park lady, Ashley Beasley, the Highland Park survivor, now she's there by coincidence. And, she also has gematria of 66 as well, just like mass shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. But, that's all I have.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, have a good night. Okay, let's go out to Michigan, 586. Michigan, 586. Let's just be listening. Let's go out to Denver, 720.
Hey, Zach, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Hey, did you say when Joe Biden went to Canada and received a chocolate bar that said peace on it? And then when you look, I think it was the same day, a chocolate factory got blown up in West Reading, Pennsylvania. I mean, it looked like an explosion in a chocolate factory.
I see. I didn't know that. Maybe that's one of the headlines that came out was, I forgot, 7 dead. Yeah, that's what it was. 7 dead after 2 more bodies found. They put out that headline on the 72 date numerology. And of course, President Biden equals 72. And again, he lost his wife and daughter in the car accident in 72 after he became senator-elect. And then when he was 72 years old, his son died at 46 before he became number 46. So good detail. That probably explains part of what happened there. And Pennsylvania is his birth state as well. So.
Yeah, that's what is crazy. Like, he was receiving a chocolate bar that said peace on it, and he's smiling happy, like, oh, hey. And all of a sudden, I think it was the same day or the next day, in West Reading. But if you look at the video, it's like the thing exploded, like an explosion. And I think it was called the Palmer Chocolate Factory in West Reading, Pennsylvania. I was like, man, these people are so crazy and so sick. Like I said, they do these rituals and like you said, the organic side is like totally demonic, man. I was like, who the hell sits here and cooks and plants this up, for their life? But this is what these people do all day long. And like I said, when I called you, you did an awesome, I think you got your calling, brother. I mean, you expose the enemy, what they do, the evil agenda. And I like the other brother, but it is true. If you pick up the sword, you're going to die by the sword. And trust me, if I wasn't in the Torah, walking out, the tree of life, like Passover is coming next week, trust me, I'd probably be in that destiny too, of picking up the sword. Because, how much is enough where you guys I'm done with this. I'm going out with guns blazing and stand for something. instead of keep taking, you know, up the ass, you know, she was gonna say, you know, week by week by week, by day by day, by year. But he's like, this, you know, I had enough of this. But that's the whole key, you know. Like I said, they do it patiently. They exploit you. You know, they divide you, and basically they put you in chaos, mind state. And people's like, what the hell? Do I go right? Do I go left? Am I coming or am I going? And you know, the organic side is that realm of death. You know, as they call it, subplot. And, you know, that's why, you know, it's like everyone, you cut a snake head off here, and all of a sudden you got 3 other snakes coming the other way. It's like, damn, I got to check, you know what I mean? But that's why, I mean, I got to give it to you, brother. You're exposed to this, but you must have one hell of a soul mindset to keep up with this and keep doing what you're doing. Because most people's like, I don't know, I'm going to put the white flag. This is too much. So, and like I said, you hit the tip of the spear, the Jesuits and everything. And I'm a Hebrew, and like I said, I see how you said not all Jewish people. Really, Hebrew means you crossed over. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Noah weren't Jewish. They were in a Babylon system. They came out with God, and then you realize even back then, like this whole thing is chaotic. Without God, without laws, you know, nothing's to be followed. Each man does right in their own eyes, and it comes out in a sick situation. So, but that's what I like too, you know, like I think I called before. I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but I'm going to celebrate Passover next Wednesday. Eating lamb, you know, enjoying my family, have bitter herbs, unleavened bread, and celebrate spring coming, spring forth for new things. So that's what I'm looking forward to do. Now, what Kabbalistic, you know, other people do and try to kill people, I mean, that's why I watch you, because you expose exactly everything a man shouldn't do to put other men in bondage and take their liberties and rights. As it says, take dominion over earth. Don't take dominion over other men. But I'm going to leave it at that, brother. But Zach, I mean, I was just want to call you, you know, as I was telling my daughter, I was like, look at this. This guy's receiving a chocolate bar saying peace, and then the same state he was in, he got a chocolate factory exploding. I was like, what the hell are the odds of that? But watching you, it's like, I know there's some numbers coding somewhere with this. And, you know, that's the crazy part, man. But I was like, why don't people use their knowledge, their wisdom, and understand that God gave them for doing good, how to bless others, what can I do for you, now what I can do for me. And, you know, how's your family doing, how's your kids doing? You know, let's make a covenant and be in peace and blessed. And, you know, I think that's what everyone wants in a nutshell, you know. But unfortunately, Zach, you know, prophecy is going to keep going forward, and they do use the Torah as the playbook, you know, and the New Testament. And they're going to keep going forward. But, you know, there is different destinies. You can be in famine, captivity, pick up a sword, die by it. Or obviously I'm trying to get to the Abrahamic covenant where you live in a land with peace, with a community with blessing. And everyone's like, hey, we're going to agree on the Torah principles and try to do the best we can instead of a lawlessness, godlessness government, which obviously America, you're in it. It's a spiritual whore of Babylon. But that's why no matter what we say or do, this empire is going to go down, and it is going to shift over, you know, to the other way with China and Russia. Even Israel today, I think Benjamin Knight said, go screw yourself, you know, because like, once you mind your own business, you know, he's part of it. But I think he has some wisdom, though, too. And eventually, all the power is going to shift over that way, and it's going to decrease for America. I mean, we got enemies all over, and I don't think it's going to get any better. So, I don't know, I think I'll leave it at this. Jesus said in Matthew 24, if you're in the womb of the nations, you're going to be weeping with gnashing and teeth and outer darkness, because you're going to be without me, without my walls, and you're going to be in a godless society without God. It's going to be dark. And it seems like America, this is the tip of the spear, the immorality, the destruction we've done to other nations. You're going to reap what you sow sooner or later. So, but that's all I'm going to leave it to it, brother. But I would say, if my destiny, I would pick up a sword and go out by a sword or a gun or something, because how much more, everything is supposed to that, yeah, I know, but how do you get a community to say, look, I had enough of this government crap that they're putting under, is you got to take action. But who's going to follow that charge or that lead to go do it? And I hate to say it, most people are like, I got my bills, my rent, and all this shit they talk is, you know, great, but who's going to go lead that and surround that Washington, D.C. and put an end and tell all these senators to get the hell out, we're going to hang you, kill you, because we had enough. Now, you think about it, it's going to take 1 year, 2 to 5. Who's going to lead that charge?
Yeah,
And maybe
somebody's
someone
got to
will.
lead that charge, though, because I mean, really, that's what it should be. And the sad thing is, I mean, you talk like that online, the FBI ends up at your house. I went through this exact same thing because that's exactly what I said in 2017. But the thing is that I learned from that is they can't really do anything about it. They can come and try and scare you, but it really does need to happen. Again, in all of our years of slave school, we learned that this nation's so great because it was something just like that that happened that went against tyranny. And now the tyranny's here, and we're all just marching along, and it needs to be stopped. Because if it's not stopped, I mean, look what it is. I mean, we now see what it is. You can watch my videos from 10 years ago saying if we don't stop this, think about how bad it's going to be for kids. Really think about what it is to be a child in America today. You're super scared that you're going to get killed in the classroom. You're super scared of germs. You haven't seen people's. Well, thankfully, we finally got to take the slave muzzles off recently. But for kids who were growing up in the time of COVID, I mean, from the time that they were, like imagine being a 3-year-old and from age 3 to 5, you like didn't see anybody's face. All you saw was their COVID mask, and we're messing people up so bad, especially the young people. And again, the reason it's happening is because the adults aren't doing the adult things and getting rid of the tyrants. And then the sad thing is the majority of adults, they think someone like me is crazy and they think everything's just fine. Our government's just doing their best. They're just trying to deal with all the problems that just come about. So,
Well, Zach, that's it, brother. And like I said, everything you're exposing is season by season. It's going to get worse and worse. But the key is in morale. Like even my grandfather, when he came back from World War II, and that was hand-to-hand combat, that was no joke. That was like, cutting people with your bayonet, shooting people. I mean, they didn't have the technology. But when he came back in the 1940s, he figured it out. He knew it. He said, Rick, when your country's moral fails, your country fails. I don't care what laws you pass. So when you have them in morale, like men's going to chop their privates off, become a girl, become a dress, wear that type of clothing, and vice versa. And everything else, like let's go to the abortion clinic. What is it, 73 million child's been aborted? So the innocent blood has been shedded over the last 30 years. I mean, when you keep breaking every these principles, and the key is being a Hebrew, I learned, when the earth cries out, that's the key. Man was put on earth to take dominion over earth. But the earth gets sick of it too, with all the sin that pours upon it. So what it does, eventually it vomits you out. I mean, look at history. That's what happens in these cycles over and over again. And here's the whole thing, too, is you might fight for your rights, but here's the whole key. People don't want to follow their obligations to their rights. That's what they want to bypass over. Well, I know immoral is correct, but I want to jump over and break that, but I still want my rights. It doesn't work that way. You have to have an immoral correctly walking a lifestyle in your life, then your rights will follow. And that's why I realize most people don't want to do that. Because of what? It takes about self-government, self-discipline, right? And most people, if they're honest with themselves, that's what they're still not really mastering their own life. And that's why I like the Torah is the best, because if you can self-govern yourself, which is the best government on this earth, that's why God gave it to us. He said, then you can also know how to respectfully, with a graceful heart, loving heart, to self-govern others in a great way. Not to be tyrants and dictators over people. So that's what I learned about principles. Principles are principles. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not commit adultery, right? Honor your mother and father. Certain principles, they work no matter what you say. Thou shalt not commit a murder. Because either way, if you go kill somebody, you're going to have an immoral in your soul instantaneously, if it's not self-defense. If I go sleep with another man's wife, I did an illegal act on this earth, so I'm going to pay the consequences of it. So that's why there is certain principles, like almost universal. Every person will probably, I think I'm going to agree with that. If it's not mine, I won't steal. I'm going to leave it alone. I probably have a better life than so will the other person. I mean, that's just one principle, man. But look at America. Every immoral principle has been broken, I mean, to the max, Zach. So, I mean, when you have that much immoral, and you're trying to fight for a right, but you're not doing the obligations for those rights, I mean, it's almost impossible to get a victory. And that's why I say when you expose this chaotic, subplot message, I mean, brother, what you do well. But the whole thing is, you got to see, is the morale in place through all of this, or I'm trying to fight for my rights, what I don't like. And I don't know if America's going to make it, brother. We're so far gone beyond lawlessness. I mean,
I completely
I really think it's
agree.
over.
I completely agree, and that's why I often say, I mean, I'm not totally serious, but I'm sort of serious. That's why I often say I'm cheering for the Illuminati to wipe out the population, because most of these people need to go. Because it is. It's just it's a bad society. That's why it wasn't an accident that Joe Biden said this soulless society. They know that that's the society they've created. The society that has all the wrong values, that doesn't care about the things that matter, a bunch of selfish people that are just all about materialism. They don't care about truth. They don't care about justice. It is a soulless society. That's why Biden's first remarks were his supposed, he likes, for people who don't get it, just Joe Biden's not senile. That's the character he plays. And it's just so that he can do the types of things like that. He's always doing these clever misspeaks just like Bush did. Now, I didn't realize that when I was younger about Bush. I thought he was truly a moron, but now I realize that was the character he was playing too. They do this stuff on purpose. Anyway, friend, I really appreciate everything you're saying, and I know it's true, and I wish it wasn't true, but it is. So thanks again for the words.
All right, Zach. Well, be blessed. Have a great week. Keep doing what you're doing, and let God just keep elevating you. Stay humble in your own eyes, while another man praise you what you have done, and you'll just keep doing great. And here's what's key: think about it. If you weren't called what you're doing, like you told the FBI, the alphabet soup, all of them, you'd probably be in prison, dying, killed, or whatever. But obviously, you're not. You know why? Because God has a calling for you. They say keep going forward. Keep doing what you're doing, and then as season by season rolls out, I'll show you a little bit more. And then that's the whole thing, because when you don't have fear, you're kicking in faith.
Right, exactly.
It's not blood based on fear-based, right? It's based on fear.
Exactly.
So if they can keep you in a fear base and a mind, mind government, mind control over your fall for it, which you haven't. You broke through, you can say the matrix or whatever, your soul realm went to a higher level. It can't be in captive in that. And like I said, it is true. There's power in numbers, though. So when you multiply yourself, trust me, that's what they really, really fear. Indeed. It is true, like the one caller said, you can shut the whole thing down in one day, in 1 hour. And they know that. Because the whole thing is they need our participation in this crap to make it work. And that's why the one guy, he was onto something. But imagine I would say, I'm done with this. You get 1, you get 2, you get 100, you get 1,000, you get 100,000, 1 million. You know how fast you're shutting everything in. And who's in fear of them? They are. And that's the whole thing is that's the question.
Yeah.
They'll shut it down. So, well, Zach, keep doing what you're doing, brother. Be blessed and have a blessed week, okay?
All right. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. You have a good night.
All
right. Take care. Yeah. I know people don't like when I say that, but you guys, I don't see how this world ever gets better without something like, a biblical flood, man. You got to flush this trash down the toilet, man. That's why I like the band Tool. I like when that album came out in the 90s. You got to flush it all away. I was already getting it back then. Let me see. I think it's 302 that's next. 302? 302?
Hey, Zach, what's going on, man?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, man, I just got an observation. I know you've been, talking about some other stuff, but back, when you was talking about, like, for the past couple of weeks with them cutting that net down and that UConn Iona game.
For people who don't know, if UConn goes on to win this championship, they literally stopped the game to take down the net right before they shot the free throw to make the 84th points in the 84th tournament, and the championship's 84 days after the state's birthday, and the coach, his dad's Jesuit educated. But that's how dumb this stuff is. If UConn goes on to win, that's what they did that for in the first game. It was unexplained why they stopped the game to take down the net right before they scored the 84th point. And for people who don't know, in college basketball, that's what you do when you win the championship. You cut down the net. But anyway, go ahead.
Exactly. So I want to let you know so you can add that to your notes. I was just watching the NBA game with my son, the national televised game with the 76ers and the Mavericks, and they just did the exact same shit that you were talking about. They stopped the game, and like it has to be some type of skull and bones ritual because today was the 76ers 76th game of the season, and they stopped the game. I was watching it with my son. They stopped the game on 119 points. So that that's like 9/11. You know what I mean? And they stopped it. They were just talking like, what's going on? The net was the same as that way that the UConn game was. Went to go get a ladder. The guy went to go get a ladder, and he untangled it. They cut the net down, just like in the game. He put a new net on there and everything. And then you heard of like Marcus Morris and Marquise Morris?
Uh-huh.
Like, you heard of them? The NBA players? Yeah. So they came, like one of them came, I'm not sure which one it is, but they came into the frame of the camera when he was cutting the net down. And I was like, that's interesting because like they're twins. They're twin brothers. So I'm like, they're doing a twin power thing. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, it's got to be something related to what Zach's talking about. I'm like, why would they cut this net down like just right after they did this for UConn? And then I went and looked up like just the rosters. And on the Sixers roster, they got a guy named Jaden McDaniels. And I looked up what school he went to. I just looked at everybody's college, and he went to San Diego State. So I thought that was interesting. So I looked up, and it said today was 57 days after his birthday. And the crazy thing is when they stopped the clock, I actually recorded it for you. Like I was going to email it to you. When they stopped the clock, the Sixers had 57 points, and the guy from San Diego State today, 57 days after his birthday. The Mavericks had 62 points when they stopped it to fix the net, and today was 29/3, 60-second prime. And like I said, I mean, it was like a clear skull and bones ritual because when they came back from getting the net fixed, the first person they showed was Luka, number 77, flight 77. And then they showed number 11 coming to the frame. So it was like 77 plus 11 standing next to each other, and today's the 88th day of the year. So it's like this whole Trump that it's just crazy. It's like the skull and bones ritual, like that with Yale and Connecticut. And I just think that this game is like related to that, to that UConn.
There is. You're right. You're on to something. That? Yeah, send me that clip. I definitely want to see that. I really appreciate that you caught that because there's always links between college and pro and what they're doing. And yeah, again, people should wise up to how rigged it is, man. It just makes me think. It's just like, I was saying at the beginning of the term, I said, watch, they'll kill another former Jesuit connected player on March 22nd. And of course, I was one day off. They did it on March 21st. But it's 3 years in a row doing the same thing. Killing a Jesuit connected player on almost the exact same day. And it's just the same thing. Last year, the Jesuit school that they were connected to won one more game and lost. This year it was Creighton. They won one more game and lost. It's just like, God, same thing every year.
Right, yeah, and you were saying that. I mean, and I was following the tournament closely because, I mean, obviously, at Princeton, the Ivy League team, they had won their conference this year, but they won to win the conference to get to the chip. They beat Yale, and that was the Princeton coach's 322nd game. So, that's why Princeton did well in the tournament too. And he got a 206 win against Yale. To clinch to go to the March Madness. So I was like, I've been on this skull and bones ritual, with them, for a minute. So I just think, like you said, it's all connected. But I just was like, man, this is crazy. Like I had to record it, and I just couldn't believe that they was bringing the ladder out and they literally cut down the net in the Sixers game, and then put a new net on. And like I said, just the fact that it was a 76 game, man, skull and bones and 76ers and today, the 76ers, they always change their court, but today they got the big 7-6 in the middle of the court at half court. I mean, it's just crazy, man. This stuff is sick how they do it. Like you always say, like, man, it's so lined up. And in the game that you were talking about, the UConn Connecticut game, that total when they cut the net down on that, the total was 146. And I know that's like the Donald Trump, birthday or whatever. So I don't know. I just see like the clear 9/11 skull and bones ritual with that. So I definitely think, UConn's going to be in that, in that chip. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And the funny thing is, if it did end up being them in San Diego State, since you brought it up, again, they've only met one time in history, 2011. 2011 is the only year that the final four seeds added up to a higher number. They added up to 26 that year. This year in 23, they add up to 23. And then they keep showing that Hakeem Tabit commercial. And Tabit played for UConn, and he also played for Houston in the NBA where the Final Four was the year 2011. He was playing for the Houston Rockets. And they keep showing his commercial. His jersey number's 3-4, like how the championship's on the 3rd day of the 4th month. So we'll see if that's what they do. But
Right.
yeah, that's.
Did you notice that the beat was 36 years old, and this is UConn's 36th year in the tournament?
You're right. Yeah, that's another one.
36?
That's another one. Yeah. All right, man. I gotta let some more people get in, but yeah,
and then
please do send me that
Yeah,
clip.
hold on. Zach, one more.
Oh, go
Zach,
ahead.
one more thing on that beat thing. I didn't know if you said that already. That he was born on the day leaving 318 days. Did you see that?
He's born on the 47th day of the year. Yeah, the championship's 46 days after his birthday. Connecticut 46, Houston, Texas 46, March Madness 46. So we'll see.
Right. Yeah. I just didn't see that you said that. Yeah, he's born on the day leaving 318 days, and if UConn wins the next 2 games, their record would be 31-8.
Oh yeah, they get. That's right. Only them or Miami can get. It's either them or Miami. And if that FAU wins the first game, Miami's got a shot because they could beat FAU for the 23rd team. But only FAU or not FAU. Only Miami or Connecticut can get the 31st win, and I don't see how that doesn't happen in Houston. Everything's 31 in Houston. It always is. So anyway, man, appreciate it.
Okay, well, I appreciate it, man. What email should I send that video to?
GematriaEffectSports@gmail.com, please. Thank you.
GematriaEffectSports@gmail.com. All right, thanks, Zach. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. You have a good night. Okay. I love that people are using those eyes. 605, South Dakota.
Hey, Zach. This is Eloy. I know I haven't been calling in a while. It's just been a bunch of crazy mess, but I just want to talk about a couple topics. And one of the topics will be, and I'm sure you already heard of that restriction bill and all the stuff it contains in there. And it's basically a Patriot Act 2.0, you know, and it's insane. And I can go on Twitter and scroll all day, and you can literally see all the division. Everyone's getting divided, you know, whether it's gender, you know, race, you name it, you know, everyone's just so divided. Everyone's just, and obviously that's what they wanted, you know, let's focus on them and stuff like that. But it's just, it's insane seeing it, you know, because we've been talking about this for a long time, you know, and it's like, I mean, obviously everything's kind of, and like you said, you know, this year is going to be pretty crazy, dude. 3-2-2, like literally in the title, and there's a lot of stuff going to be happening this year, I'm sure. That was number one I was going to talk about. And then I wanted to show you some. If you could go on Twitter and just search up Truth Seeker. If you could go on, hold on, let me get my exact Twitter. But I just want to show you this Elon Musk picture, basically his profile picture. I don't know if you've seen it. It's his Twitter picture that he has, his Twitter profile picture. If you go to Garcia Boy 0915, so it's Garcia BOII 0915. That's the at to find my Twitter. That's my personal Twitter. And if you go and scroll down, you'll see I have a picture.
Hold on, Garcia. How do you spell boy? GARCIA BOI 0195.
It's BOII 0915.
Okay.
So it's 2 I's instead of a Y.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, if you just scroll down and you'll see like the first thing up. It's basically a screenshot of his Twitter profile, and in that profile picture, I was able to get a full image. And as you can see, look at his armor he's wearing.
Okay.
I just wanted to bring that up to kind of just show, you know, like, I mean, obviously we already all knew this, but it's just funny looking at it, and just thought I'd bring it up because it's basically a reminder, you know, these guys are put in position and power, and obviously they're fulfilling these agendas.
Is that from his own? Is that from his own thing, or is that something that somebody else made?
No, that's literally, if you go to his Twitter profile, that's his profile picture he's using.
Wow, with an upside down cross, so satanic, and then the goat, which is associated with the Baphomet. Okay,
yep.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's basically put out there for everyone to see. You know, it's just for those who really go and look. But I thought that was insane. You know, I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
Okay, I just gave you a follow.
Obviously, we already knew this, but
yeah, I didn't realize that was Elon Musk's profile. That's not what it used to be, is it?
No, he literally just changed that. I think like middle of last year.
He's now following 187 people. Perfect.
So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up, Zach, and I'm glad and I'm proud of all the work and stuff. I'm just wanted to bring that up. But thanks, dude.
All right. Yeah. Good observation. Appreciate it, man.
Yep. Bye.
Okay. Have a good night. Okay. Let's see. We got about an hour show left. Again, we don't have any commercials tonight because there's a system error, so it's just all air time. We're taking calls all the way. And next up is Grand Prairie, Texas, 214.
Oh, hey, Zach, I already called in. I'm just listening.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's Steven.
Oh, I didn't mean to hang up on you, but I appreciate it, Steven. Thank you. Let's go out to 408. What's up, 408?
All right. Hey, Zach. So on the topic of Texas, I do want to talk a bit about Texas' elimination from the tournament the other day. So back on January 2nd, the former Texas baseball coach passed away at the age of 91. And he was known for winning the 1983 College World Series. Obviously, murder and death equal 83, and 83 is the 23rd prime. He was dead on the second day of 2023. And he was dead at the age of 91, and he died 91 days before the basketball national championship game, even though he's the baseball coach. I mean, the sports are interconnected. And dead 41 days before his birthday, like how the Final Four is on the 91st day of the year on 4/1. So I figured that his death was connected. It was definitely connected to the tournament. And I thought that at the time that was a riddle that Texas was at least going to make the Final Four. However, that didn't happen. But when they were eliminated the other day, it was 83 days after his death. Obviously, he was known for winning the 83 College World Series. And his last game was back in 1996. And guess which school Texas lost to in his final game?
Miami?
Yep.
Isn't it sick?
And the score of that game was...
You know when I knew Miami was coming back to win it? Again, you learn Gematria, you just see it at halftime. Texas was up 45. Texas scored 45 in the first half, 36 in the second half. Miami equals 45 the big way, 36 the small way. But so often when a score points to a certain team, that team will win the game whether they're in the lead or not. And then I noticed that at halftime, and it made me look at the seed. And I said to myself, I said, oh my God, if Miami wins this game, the seeds will add up to 23. And for Bill don't know, the reason I was really hurting on that is because I told people I thought the surest game in the Final Four, or the Elite Eight, excuse me, was I thought Texas would win. I was a little bit worried about Miami picking up their 15th tournament win because Texas is 15. But I did think that they were going to put the Texas coach in there. So anyway, I see what they did in hindsight. But yeah, good research. Okay, yeah, it's all making more sense now.
Yeah, and like you, I also saw the thing about him becoming the interim head coach 112 days before the championship game. But I guess that was just a false clue. But also back onto the topic at hand, I do remember I was in high school when Sandy Hook and the Boston bombings happened, and it was like back to back. It was like they were very close together, if I remember correctly. And I am glad that I was kind of old enough then, because we never had, at least I don't recall ever having a shooting drill in school growing up. I mean, we had fire drills and earthquake drills because I'm from California, so we had earthquake drills, but we never had a shooting drill. So I do think in a way, I did kind of. I'm glad that I was that age then. I wasn't.
How old are you, Evan? Evan, how old are you?
I'm almost 26.
Almost 26. Yeah, they might have started a little bit after you got out of school. As a teacher, we were having the students do shooting drills in the late 2000s. So it started around then. We didn't have any shooting drills either when I was growing up, but we had earthquake drills, fire drills all the time, but no shooting drills. Columbine, we had to start wearing name badges. I was in high school when Columbine happened. So.
Yeah, also, a couple more things. I do think UConn has the better narrative to win it all, but I did notice if Miami wins their next two games, they'll finish the season 31-7, and 317 and being the 66th prime, that's a big number in Texas because Texas equals 66.
Right. And it's
Greg
31
Abbott was
days.
born on-
It's 31 days after the state of Florida's birthday, too, the championship. I'll tell you what, if the Hurricanes win in Houston, Texas, I guarantee you it's going to be synced up with weather warfare to come later this year in Houston, Texas. So if I'm in Houston, you better be cheering all the way against Miami. So.
Well, I would hope not. But and lastly, before I go, depending on when you're going through the Bay Area, I might fly back there for a couple of days. It just depends on timing of work and all that. So, but we'll figure it out later.
Okay, sounds good, man. Yeah, I'll keep everyone posted. I'll set some dates here. I'm waiting for them to set the playoff schedule because I want to be down in LA for the basketball games, obviously. So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. All right, Evan. Appreciate it, man.
All right. Well, thank you.
Care. Yeah. For the people in the chat saying call Rambo, again, Rambo's welcome to call the show anytime he wants to. So Rambo can call the show if he wants to. But I am not going to call him, so he can call in. 815. What's up, 815?
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good. So I'm in the Chicago area, and a lot of the news as far as the shooting, they're hailing one of the officers as a gentle giant from Chicago.
You're saying, wait, is this in the Nashville shooting, the officers from Chicago?
Yes. He grew up in Chicago, which I found interesting, where they say he grew up, excuse me, I'm going to pull up my notes here, lived in Forest Glen. Forest Glen is only about 15 minutes from Highland Park.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He attended Queen of All Saints Elementary School in Chicago, is what the news report says. Loyola Academy in Chicago. Exactly. And then he got criminal justice at the University of Dayton, which is actually a Society of Mary Catholic school.
Wow, it's all making more sense.
And he's 27. He's 27 years old.
Oh.
I actually posted on your video with the shoes, your quick video of the shoes, I posted the interview his brother gave to one of the Chicago stations. And it was just an odd video. He acted odd. He felt coached. It was very odd. So if you have a moment to watch it. And so then I kind of was also looking up the other officer as well. The other officer is 31. And the other officer is from Tennessee. And he was actually at the Christmas 2020 bombing in Tennessee.
Of course he was.
He participated in that one as well.
Okay. Well, add their ages together. 27 plus 31, 58. Covenant School, 58. Freemasonry, Secret Society, Fraternal. Okay.
Yeah.
And for people who haven't seen, their names equal the exact same thing in Gematria. There's two, for people who have not watched the body cam footage, it's from two officers' perspective. Both of their names are the exact same in Gematria, and they both equal the word shooting and the full name of the school, including its nicknames. Go figure.
Yeah. So I just thought it was interesting they had to include his elementary school where he went and his high school. Like, you know, I think they did that for a reason.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back and write down everything you said because it's more proof of exactly what's going on. Go figure. He has a Jesuit education.
Yeah, and several Chicago articles call him the gentle giant.
The gentle giant.
So I'm not sure where that ties in, but he doesn't look like a giant to me in his photos. He looks like a skinny kid. So I don't know where the giant comes from, the gentle giant, if that has any sort of meaning to it, but I thought that was sort of odd as well.
Yeah, I'm sure there is a ritual to it. I'll have to think about it. The shooting did happen on a date with 37 numerology, and Chicago is a 37 city. Chicago's 37. Gentle Giant has the same gematria as mass shooting for starters, but there's probably more to it. So.
Okay. Yeah, but that's really all I have is when I saw it kind of been all over the news. I'm like, that's just really odd. They from 15 minutes from where the Highland Park lady, she was also there too when they interviewed her.
Exactly.
So it's just, what are the chances, right?
Yeah, what are the chances? Here, for people, I didn't show this in the beginning, just the names of the officers. It was one of the things I decided to skip, but it's just more proof of how perfectly scripted it all is. Again, they released the body camera footage on the 87th day of the year. Body camera equals 87. Then the two officers you get to see are Officer Rex Engelbert and Officer Michael Colazzo. And both of their names equal the exact same thing in Gematria. Officer Rex Engelbert, Officer Michael Colazzo, they both equal 107 like shooting. If you drop the officer, both of their names equal 135 like officers. And also like Central Intelligence Agency, which they've now also encoded into the shooter's birthday. But, and again, the CIA, Catholics in action. Here's another Jesuit. I suspect with a name like Michael Colazzo, probably a good chance he's Catholic. Wouldn't be surprised if he went to a Jesuit school as well. So, again, you guys, I mean, there's a fine line between gangsters, the government, and the Jesuits.
Yep. Yeah, so, and I just, I'm an ER nurse, so I've been for decades, and over the years, I've just known that things on TV were bullshit. When you would watch different victims' families on TV, that's not, I know what family loss looks like in real life, right? And you just see how it's staged, and they're acting, these characters they have.
I'm sure you saw the latest actor who just could not stop smiling as she talked about the tragedy.
Yes. The sister or something of the. I don't know if it was the sister.
She said like her mom worked at the school or something. So,
okay.
Yeah, we've been looking at the same stuff. Smiling. Yeah, for 10 years we've been looking at the same stuff, these exact same scenarios, these exact things happening, and people continue to leave the same comments online. Don't you know that that's like a common nervous reaction? It's just like,
Well, the other thing too is I think, well, I've always kind of been awake. Like even 9/11, I kind of knew something was off. I actually grew up Catholic. I left the Catholic Church in the 90s because of the child molestation that kind of got swept under the rug. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like I knew that was off. But when Sandy Hook happened, I remember watching Obama on TV and they threw up all the faces of the kids within hours. And I'm thinking, just as a nurse and with HIPAA privacy laws, and I know, the coroner's office, because we would get shootings in all the time, right, when I worked, things like that. That shit takes time. How do they get these faces up within hours?
Right. Exactly.
And the names, and they always have a manifesto, and I'm like, wait a second, this just doesn't add up. And then I saw the interview with the one father where he's like laughing, and then he has to like compose himself to give the speech for Sandy Hook. I forget his name, but I don't know if you've ever seen that clip.
I don't know if I've seen that specific one, but I've seen plenty just like it, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, but yeah, you just see him and he's like laughing, and then he like takes a big breath and like.
Oh, you're talking about Robbie Parker. Oh yeah, you're talking about Robbie Parker. He got the settlement by the numbers. He got paid out by the numbers, supposedly from Alex Jones. So.
Yes.
Yeah, old Robbie.
That's when I was like, yep. So when I saw that, and at the time my boys were little at the time, and I was like, that's not how parents like act,
No. No, he was like shooting the breeze with everybody. He was just like having a good time with everybody, talking to them, and they're like, "Hey, Robbie, you're on camera." He's like, I mean, yeah, exactly. It just makes me sick that they're getting away with this stuff a decade later. So,
yeah, and and I try to explain this to family, even over the years. Like people it's like, well, you don't know what other people's grief are. I'm like, I've seen it when I have to tell people their family member died. Like, that's what we see on TV is not real life. Like, in real life, people are crushed. People, you know, some people can't even get out of bed after their children die, you know? And then you have these clowns on TV that come up. Like, I just don't see how people can't put that together.
It's because belief, right? They believe the authority. They believe that the authorities couldn't lie to them. They believe that not this many people could participate in the lie. I mean, you start talking to people, that's what all their thoughts are. Everyone has the same reactions. There's no way all these people would participate in the lie and not say something. It's like, money?
Well, I always like to use the example of Santa Claus to people. Like, we lie to our kids about Santa Claus.
Well, and again, it's just, people will lie. People will lie for money. People will go and they'll go to the job and they'll know what they do is dishonest and they'll do it every day because they do it for money. It's so easy to control people with money. I don't know why everyone's just so mystified by this dishonesty. Like, everybody knows that politicians are totally corrupt and dishonest. So essentially they're going and they're lying to us every day. Everyone gets that, but then they don't think it can happen in other places. They don't see how controlled the media is. It's like, here, case in point. Seattle, Washington, March 15th, 2020, Fox News, I interrupt their broadcast because they're just reporting BS, and I bring them Event 201. I say, here, look at all this information right there. And does that ever make the news? How does the news media never cover Event 201 a single time? I mean, the news media has like literally never covered that. The fact that only the Chinese and American CDC got together a month before the outbreak to simulate a coronavirus pandemic. I mean, again, the news is so controlled. It's not giving us any real information. There's no investigative journalism. There's just like a one-way street narrative all the time. I mean, you turn on CNN right now, they're talking about the hero cops. I was watching it last night. I was just like, and I was killing myself watching it because there are a group of like 4 or 5 of them, and they're going, look at the bravery as he just goes room to room with no fear. I'm like, okay, and does anybody notice that there's no one in the building? Wow, look how brave this cop is doing the simulated active shooter drill with literally nobody in the building. I mean, what are we talking about? Whoever this person is should be on TV right now explaining that America just got duped to take away our rights and liberties again. Hero, the guy's a criminal. Mm-hmm. So, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, it's and I actually left nursing 6 years ago. I retired early after 20 years, just because I was tired of it. I knew what it was. All the doctors are just big pharma bitches, you know.
Oh, hold on. I'm sorry to interrupt, but somebody's in the chat that just really annoyed me. Glenn Beck talked about 201. You want to know why Glenn Beck talked about 201? Because of yours truly. Glenn Beck's The Blaze was on site in Olympia, Washington, April 19, 2020. They interviewed me. I told them all about Event 201 and how you could see how Donald Trump was part of it too. This just wasn't some Democrat liberal agenda. What does Glenn Beck's The Blaze put out the very next day? They took all these different interviews from other people at the thing. They left out mine, and then Glenn Beck has this special on Event 201, the liberal agenda. Glenn Beck got that information from me and spun it into some political thing. Glenn Beck's a joke. Anyway, go ahead.
You know, but I did leave 6 years ago. I was tired of the lies. I mean, you know, I would hear doctors, you know, I know what doctors said behind closed doors, right, about patients, and it was just too much. So I left, and since then I've gotten functional medicine certification and holistic health, nurse coaching, that kind of thing, down the more natural route. But when COVID hit, I knew that was a lie too. I knew the minute that on TV they showed in New York, the 6 doctors rolling a dead body out of the hospital, 6 doctors. I knew it was a lie because doctors don't push dead bodies through the hospital.
Yeah, and that's just as you bring that up, it just reminds me of the LAX shooting years ago where they clearly wheeled out a dummy with all the cameras on it and they told us about the victim, and it's just like that's what I mean. This stuff's been going on for over a decade. Just the ultimate mockery in the news, and still America hasn't woken up to it.
Yes.
So.
And even with the vaccine, like I kept telling people, don't get it. It's too fast. You know, it's you don't need it. And I never took like the flu vaccine. In fact, the last year I worked, 6 years ago, is when they started mandating the flu vaccines for nurses, or we had to mask up. And all of us that had been around for decades were like, what? Like, we were never sick. I've been around people with measles, mumps, the flu, HIV, anything you could think of. Never wore a mask. I was never sick, ever sick. And we're like, why are you mandating this flu shot? Like, that's stupid, you know? And I think back then, I think they were conditioning us for today.
Yeah, I agree. They've been building up to this moment.
Yes. You know, and because now the argument between nurses was, well, you got your flu shot. What's the difference? Like, that was the argument between nurses.
Right.
Right? Like, you get a flu shot, who cares? It's just like the flu shot. Like, they didn't get in their little heads because their religion is science, right? And listening to their authority that it's a totally different, never been used mRNA vaccine. Like, they just couldn't grasp that it was against the people. They just couldn't get it.
Yeah, I know. They just, their minds refuse to get it. Too much cognitive dissonance. Well, I really appreciate it, caller. I'm glad we got you out there, and thanks for your observations. I'm going to look a lot more into that. Great research.
All right, thank you.
All right, you have a good night.
Have a good night.
Take care. All right, let's go out to 717. 717, you're on.
Let me explain to you why there's a pack of trolls that live on the page.
Look at the troll. Look at the troll. Get a life, loser. All right, let's go out to 301. What's up, 301?
Hey, how you doing, Zach?
How you doing?
I'm good, brother. So I have a couple things to go over. I'll try to do it real quick so you can get to other callers. I just want to talk about, first off, about that, that Covenant school shooting. And I'm kind of behind on the video, so I don't know if this has already been brought up or not, but the number of 102 and how it was connected to that. And, like Nashville equals 102 and in English ordinal. But so does like Manifesto, and so does Autistic. In the news, the last couple of days has made that like one of their main talking points in bold letters is about, the shooter had a manifesto and she was autistic, and how both those things equal 102 in English ordinal, just like Nashville. And I could be wrong, but I think the Pope was on the 101 day of his age when that shooting happened, like the span of 102.
No. It would have been a span of 101 days from the Pope's birthday. It was 100 days after his birthday, and both Audrey Elizabeth Hale equals 100, and Audrey Hale alone both equal 100. And one of the cops' names is also 100. Go ahead.
That's crazy. And I also want to bring up that I come across something today, how there was this prophecy by this saint, some Irish saint, back in the 1200s, how there was only going to be 112 popes.
I covered that in my last book.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Very, very interesting how that is. I figured if anybody was going to catch it, it would be you. And then I have one more thing, because you had did NASCAR a couple weeks ago, and that had me thinking about Dale Earnhardt's death, because it was like, I remember being a little kid, and it was like this big deal in America when that happened. And his death was kind of like by the numbers, especially with Gematria. Like, I don't know if you remember anything about that death, but they had this one part of the video where they showed like his son and everybody running into the hospital, and they made a point to show the ambulance number, which was ambulance 4, and ambulance 4 equals 132 in English ordinal and 51. in full reduction, and died at Daytona equals 123 and 51, which is kind of like 132. And then there's some others that equal 151 too that's related to it. Fuck, I haven't called in so long. I'm kind of nervous. I probably should have been more prepared. Maybe I'll wait till next week to do it because I'm having a hard time finding it. But like what Intimidator? His nickname was the Intimidator. Intimidator equals 132. You know, and just like, and the day he died. But died in NASCAR. Died in NASCAR. It's all related. I'm nervous as fuck, man. I apologize. I should have done a better job. And
just so you guys know, like all of you are the same. When you call in and say you're nervous, you didn't sound nervous. You sounded good, man. Your voice is clear. You're bringing good points. So, it's all good.
Dale Earnhardt equals 57. Just like died in the NASCAR equals 57, and there's way more to this decode, and I'll do a better job next week. I don't want to hold up the line, but thank you for everything you do.
All right, sounding good, man. Look forward to it. You have a good night.
Yep.
Take care.
You too.
Hey, what do you guys think about the brick house, huh? Must have lived in a brick house. Masons, bricks, stone masons. They always got the manifesto, don't they? Manifesto's got that Gematria 39 like Nashville and 102 like Nashville. Arrived around 9:54 a.m. Oh yeah, 54 minutes after the hour. Cable 54, they live Jesuit order. I can't wait till the manifesto comes out. These people, man. These people got jokes for days. The same old jokes. It's like, you know what they're like? They're like a comedian that's on tour with the same routine for 40 straight years. Oh man, these jokes are stale. All right, let's try Canada. They call back. Canada, you're on. 639.
Hello?
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 You're on.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Yeah, I was just wondering about like the microwave that the Feds left for you with 39 seconds on it.
Good memory.
Have you figured that out yet?
Good memory. That is how many seconds were on the microwave that was left at my house the weekend before the break-in. I'm amazed that you'd even remember that.
You're 39 years old, right?
I am 39 now.
Uh-oh.
Are you part of the network that left that microwave?
Do you use Chaldean numerology?
Why? What's your point?
Illuminati equals 29, and today's the 29th.
Okay, now we're getting too random. But okay, that did weird me out that he would remember that. I mean, how many of you guys out there who are listening tonight remembered that happened? The weekend before my house was sabotaged and destroyed, this is all the way back in 2014, so that's a long time to remember that. I remember it like it was yesterday. I'll tell the story again for people who don't know the story. So I used to have a nice little medical delivery business back then. And I was in Kirkland, Washington, which is it's right next to the Microsoft campus and everything. And I was delivering to a customer that's out there. And I was almost to their house. And as I was not even a mile away, black SUV just goes flying. It's a one-lane road each way. It's 25 mile per hour residential road. And this SUV goes flying by me on the other side, drives up the road, and then just slams on the brakes. So I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure if it's like some kids got the SUV and they're messing with me. It's weekend night. They got the parents' car. So I'm waiting for them to move, and then they're just sitting there. So I start to drive around them, and then they drive up the road, and then they hit the brakes again, so I can't pass them. So I'm waiting again for a little bit, and then I start to drive around them again. Then they just drive ahead, and where do they drive to? They drive to my customer's house. They beat me to my customer's house. And they park right in front of their driveway. So I call up my customer when I get there and I say, hey, something really weird is going on. I said, look out your window. I said, you see this car here in front of your driveway? I said, I don't know who they are, but they were just messing with me on the road. I said, when I get out, you know, if anything happens, I said, don't even worry about it. I said, just stay in your own house. And he's like, you want me to come out there and do something? I said, no, just wait in your house because I don't know what's going on. So anyway, I go up and I go to his house, and the SUV just stays parked there, and they don't open the door or windows or anything. They just stay there, and the windows are all tinted. I can't see anything. So I go in the house and I talk to him for a little bit, and when I go back outside to go back to my car, the SUV just takes off, like chirps the tires and everything, peels out. So I had like a couple more deliveries to do, and when I got home that night to my house, on the side of my house, there was an RV pad. I never had an RV, but the previous owner did, so a double gate. So when I got home, the double gate was all the way open, and I never open up the gate, and it has like metal poles that go in the concrete, and anyway, I get home, it's all the way open, and then plugged into the side of the house is this old, nasty microwave, and it was on 39 seconds. When he said that, I was like, that's exactly what it was on. And I remember I called up my buddy, and I said, hey, man, I just got home, and somebody's been here messing with the house, and he's like, you want me to come over? I said, no, just stay on the phone with me while I walk around the house and see if the doors are open or anything. Anyway, that was the weekend before, so that was like November 8th, because it was 7 days later. November 15th is the day my house, I came home and the door was kicked in and everything was destroyed and sabotaged and lost a very lucrative business. But yeah, that weirdo guy to just call in, and again, you guys, I have a group of just like paid for trolls and harassers that are constantly calling and texting and sending weird emails, and I'm almost tempted to, like this weirdo calls every day. I'm almost as tempted to read the weirdo's email or his latest message. Hold on, it was too many calls ago. Anyway, I got weirdo people that harass me all the time. Back then at that house, I used to always get weird letters in the mailbox. And again, that's just something that people should appreciate about me. Despite all the harassment that goes on day after day, and it's been going on since 2014 now, I've continued to do the work with great focus. So anyway, thanks for reminding me, Canada weirdo. All right, what's up, 608? 608, you're on.
Hey, Zach, how's it going, man?
It's going all right. How are you?
Not too bad. I watched you years and years ago, and then I had some stuff come up in my life and just kind of got lost. And last year on 2/13, I was assaulted with a baseball bat and pushed over a balcony. And then I was raped. And after I got the police report, I broke it down with Gematria. And I would like to break that down for you if I have the time, or if there would be a better time to call.
No, go for it. You're on the show. Let's go. We're listening.
All right. So February 13th, 2022, written out FEB 13th, 2022 is 115. And in Wisconsin, the Madison Police Department is at 115 West Doty Street. So the correlation of the date and who's showing up, the police, is in direct relation. This is also with West Doty Street, W Doty Street. The way you would abbreviate it is 126 in ordinal. Arrested is 126 in reverse. So when I started to look at like them telling me who was associated with this, where it was associated, I started to do some research, and I started to realize like things like perform demonic sacrifice equals 227 ordinal. Well, the demonic sacrifice is done on East Johnson Street in Madison, Wisconsin, and East Johnson Street equals 227. I was calling somebody at 2:21, and the call lasted 1 minute. So 2:22 a.m. is when the assault happened. 2:22 a.m. equals 227 in reduction. Why this 2:22 a.m. is also important is because 2:22 a.m. equals 314 in prime. Well, 22 divided by 7 is 3.14. And lo and behold, who gets sent out? The ambulance. And where do they come from? 314 West Dayton Street. Okay, so the correlation of the police and the paramedics is 100% correlated. Now we talk about 211 South Carroll Street is where the police, what is it? The 211 South Carroll Street is the MPD Crime Stoppers, and 211 is important because murder on Sundays, which is February 13th, 2022 was a Sunday. Murder on Sundays equals 211.
Are you messing with us, man? Is this a prank call?
No, I'm 100% serious with you, dude. So like I can tell you through, like, here's a couple things. Like, it happened at apartment Juan. The guy's name was Juan E. Ruiz. All right. His alias is Esteban, and I was drugged that night. Esteban equals 66. Drugged equals 66. Tripping equals 109. Apartment 1 equals 109. And on the police report, it says I was tripping. Right?
Okay, man. So, hey, I appreciate the story, but hey, sorry that happened to you. I'm not sure about this decode, though.
I mean,
you have a good night, man.
Apology.
Take care. I feel like he's messing with us. All right, 303. What's up, 303?
Hey, what's up, Zach? How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. What's up?
So I just subscribed like a month or two ago. I'm kind of always like numbers, and I'm really intrigued like when you post stuff, and I don't know if you saw like on the Google reviews for the Covenant School, like they had 33. So I just always see like those little correlations, and just I really appreciate the work you do, man, and don't let the trolls get to you. I have like 2-step verification for my work, and like a couple times I just see a combination of numbers. But really the reason I called, I was just kind of, because I subscribed to the sports pick one. I was just seeing like, you know, you release it out, and I was just seeing like, do I need to have the calculator to kind of just decode everything? Or, because you don't make it like, you like, you know, put out all the codes and everything, but then you also kind of like, and then like, you don't really make it like a obvious.
Well, again, if you're actually on the Patreon, I explain it all the time, right? We just went over it again yesterday, and it's like people with enough IQ points, they go, oh, okay, there's 8 things that can go this way for this team, and there's 1 or 2 things that can go this way for this team. Those are the games you're looking for, and it's just like weighing the scales, man. It's common sense. So.
Oh, that's what I was kind of like taking it as.
Yeah. All right, man.
Other than that, yeah, I was just.
Yeah, again, it's really intuitive. It's really intuitive. Appreciate it. Good luck.
Have a good one.
What's up? Yeah, right.
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, what's going on?
Nothing much. I'm just checking out the show, and I noticed all these trolls keep the same people that are on the screen right now for the shooting are these same people that are calling up. That last guy, you know, because I was behind a little bit because I was listening through the phone, so I turned the thing off. The last guy, he was a troll, wasn't he?
I think all the trolls are recent. Even that last caller, I'm pretty sure is a troll. So.
Yeah, they're trolling and they're playing games, and you know, I sniff these fucking people out, you know, like it's no one's business. But this last shooting that we just witnessed, well, you know, we know what it was, but with this LGBT shit, where the most alarming thing of the shooting was what they're talking about by their pronouns. That's the most alarming thing to me, is this pronoun shit. They really want you to know they're using these pronouns. I mean, supposedly, you know, let's pretend that this really happened. You know, 3 kids and 3 teachers get murdered, but they're telling you about a shooter and pronouns.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So that to me is the most alarming thing. And what I talk about most of the time, you know, I don't know what to call these fucking people. I just call them liberals. They're all calling into your show tonight. I mean, this is the shit that we're going to have to deal with that people don't understand. These people are going to be the ones that are going to be the adversaries. The government's not coming. The government isn't coming to take your fucking gun. It's these fucking people right here that are going to show up on your lawns. They're going to show up, you know, like, you see how they prank call you? You know, they're going to be showing up. They're going to be trolling. I mean, this is what, do you know? I hope people are watching and they notice. They're all the same fucking people with the same energy, with the same tones, with the same talking points, with the same voices. These quirky, weirdo, fucking sick, demonic, twisted motherfuckers, man. They are living in an averted world, and this is why I'm calling, because, you know, they're just coming out of the fucking woodwork now. And, you know, you have, I don't know, my phone just shut off because I'm driving, but that fucking picture on the screen with this fucking transgender fucking shooter, I mean, this is what we're dealing with. This was a ritual to bring in this fucking, more of this stupid ass energy, more of this quirky, dumb shit. And this is their front line right here. There's a reason why all across America they're giving these people the rights, because they're going to take your rights. I didn't make it to the school board meeting here locally yesterday night, but this shit in the schools that's going on right now across America is just, you can't even put it into words what's happening. So what was going on with you right now tonight is what each and every one of us are going to have to deal with in our own fucking lives. And I hope people are paying attention and ready. And shout out to RPM Trey, of course, you, Zach, because, you know, we're going to know how to handle these fucking people. This shit is serious, man. This energy that these people got, you're not gonna get any words of communication to these people. They need to be knocked the fuck out, slapped. They need their ass beat the fuck up for them to realize and gain some logic to smack that demon up out of them.
Hey, if you want to fly out to Seattle this weekend, I guarantee there's going to be a lot of people that need to get put on their ass this weekend. So.
Yeah, you're going into the Mecca. Like, Seattle and Portland are the Meccas and the breeding grounds for these fucking people, man. This energy, and, you know, obviously Bill Gates and all the other crazy shit is out there. So, I mean, that energy is very strong in that area, and you're going right to the fucking den. And shout out to you for doing that, because, you know, I've been all over the country. I've never been to those places. And frankly, I just don't want to, because these people, man, I dwell around them all day because of the way I choose to eat and live my life. So I visit these places. There are some good ones, but the ones that are our adversaries, they can feel you. They can sniff you out. They can see you. They know. Their energy knows we don't match. Like, literally, I've seen this shit 100 fucking times. You go around these people, they know you don't belong with them by your look, by your energy, and they will sniff you out, man. And people need to realize these are what we're dealing with. These are the people that's coming to take your guns. These are the people that are going to make you go electric. These are the people that's going to trespass on your fucking property and squat. These are the reasons why they're passing all these squatting laws, passing all these LGBT laws, because they're coming for your kids. The whole agenda for the kids is to take away parental rights. Because whatever anybody says, listen, under the laws of the United States, we're all for freedom and liberties in this Constitution. They got a right to do that shit. That's why, like me, I went through hell to get my kids up out of the fucking school system, because I knew what was coming. People just don't understand the dire times we're in. And it's fucking war time. It's a spiritual war, and not many people are fighting it. They're looking for this physical war. They're looking for real demons and devils and angels and Jesus to come flying out of the fucking sky in the pits of hell. No, that shit ain't happening. These motherfuckers are amongst us and around us. Look at the crimes in all the cities across America. All right? I mean, these 12-year-old, 2 days ago, a 12-year-old in Minnesota murders a 30-something-year-old man for their guns and had no remorse, guilt, and he didn't have no conscience, didn't even give a fuck. 12-year-old. These are demons. And, you know, once this heat wave hits, you know, the Northeast and all the cold areas, you're going to see shit that you've never witnessed in your life. And it goes, you know, you talked about the Narcan, over-the-counter shit. I mean, these people are harnessing and busting and bringing this demonic energy, whatever you want to call it, in, and it's embodying these fucking people. And those are the people. The government ain't coming. They let us know that they're not coming, man. They're just destabilizing, demoralizing the shit for these fucking people. And the more they demoralize us, and the more they make us docile and fucking just sit and do nothing, the more powerful these fucking people become. And it's getting out of hand, man. It's getting out of hand, man. And this shooting, I mean, this is the names they use. Ashley Hale. Hale goes back to sorcery and magic. Drake goes back to sorcery and magic. The whole thing was a sick, twisted ritual to usher in this energy. When these motherfuckers...
How about Sabrina the Teenage Witch helping save the kids being part of the story?
In an empty building, right? They're using their own people for this shit. That's the first thing I said. I said, hold on. They're using their own people to do this. That is a huge red flag. And this also stems into mental illness. This whole thing is going to turn into the manifesto. It's all about mental illness. Because for one, this story, for me, couldn't even possibly be real because these people don't believe in guns. They'll never pick up a fucking guns. The one thing they do not like is children. These people don't like children. All right? These liberals, this new age shit, they don't like children. You go to any vegan restaurant pretty much across the whole United States, they are not kid friendly. They barely have kid menus. They don't like fucking kids, man. Most of the place, there is a couple, but most of them, 80% of them, don't cater to children. They don't like children. I've had my children in place, they don't even acknowledge them. You know, they don't even say hi. These people are just twisted weirdos, man. And you're right when you say weirdos. These weirdo fucks are calling into your show. I tell you what, these weirdos get it my way, they get in a fist to the face. It's like I was at the protest. I'm ready at all times to knock one of these motherfuckers' heads clean off their body. You see me in live streams being surrounded by these motherfuckers. I'm like, go ahead and do something. I have enough self-defense skills to know how to take a whole lot of people out without a fucking gun. All right, with a simple knife, I'll take about 7 or 8 of the motherfuckers out before they realize what happened. You know, and this is the shit we got to deal with. Violence is okay when you're on defense. You know, we ain't going to go out there. Obviously, I'm not going to go out there and fuck nobody up. But if they get in my way and they fuck with me or my kids, it's going to be serious fucking problems. I'm talking shit unleashed to me that has been waiting for these fucking people, man. But that's the key. These people are fearful of our energy. So just like I was at the protest and I seen all these people there, when they try to confront me with all that rah-rah shit, you face them forward, look them in the eye, let your energy ring, them motherfuckers glitch the fuck out and just leave. They don't even say anything else to you. You don't even have to perpetuate violence to these people, man. You know? But they do deserve a good smack. And guess what? They're going to cry because most of them are single parent, unloved fucking kids, loners, castaways. Notice they're all ugly as fuck. I mean, it just is what it is. That's why they switching genders on top of all this shit. Who the fuck wants half of these motherfuckers? Fat vegans and shit. I mean, this shit is so stupid, man. I'm telling you, these people is what we got to deal with. And I hope they listen. I hope everybody's paying heed to this shit because I've been on this energy for fucking years, and I know what I see. And if people ain't careful in their own life, they're gonna turn into one of these motherfuckers, man. We've seen it already, right, Zach? In the community, there's a lot of them in the community that turn that way, and they have that same energy as these fucking people, turn into trolls, making fun of people, you know, just dumb shit. You know, same type of action, same type of energy, bitch shit. You know?
Yeah,
so
indeed.
I just had to come on here because that shit pisses me off because these people, I know what they're doing. You know, I see them everywhere, man. And I'm blessed to be the way I am for so many years, 10 years strong, to be in these communities and see them change. Nashville, that place reeks with bad energy. The minute I go there, It's just darkness. And these people.
Well, you know what I know? That city's like a sister city to Seattle. There's a lot of people that travel between those two cities.
Nashville, Little Rock, Arkansas, Louisville, Kentucky, Seattle. Them shits are just fucking, they reek with this energy, man. Not everybody, of course, but you go to these fucking cities, man, it'll blow your mind because you can feel the energy as soon as you get there, and it's some dark shit. And I used to be in these communities, right, before the whole George Floyd ritual, that demonic, entity that they unleashed in here with George Floyd. These people were, I thought, going to be on our side. I thought they were going to be on our team because of the way they were always about. They knew what was going on. They understood it. They were about, saving the fucking planet and shit like that, and peace, and the government, it ain't shit, no vaccines, and all that shit. And when the whole COVID shit hit, right, when everybody was locked down to 2 weeks to slow the spread, right, after that, like maybe 3 to 4 weeks in, people started getting antsy. People started, like, no, this isn't right. So what happened? What do we see across the nation? Organic protests of white, black, Arabic, Hispanic, Mexicans, all coming together and saying, you know what, this ain't right. We got to open this shit up. And that's when these motherfuckers, if you look at the timeline, unleashed the damn George Floyd shit. And guess what? They took all those people. And it was mayhem across the United States ever since. That's when they unleashed this shit, ball raw. And I went back to these same communities in the same time frame, and the energy was just darkness. They just knew that I didn't belong. Plus, I wasn't fucking with the mask. They just knew I didn't belong. They just knew my energy was against theirs. And I'm telling you, you just seen it all just change, man. So when I talk about these people, like, I don't know what to call them. I just call them the liberal energy. Malcolm X talked about this shit back in his day. But when they bring this energy out, this so-called liberation, whatever the shit is, it gets into these people and they become fucking radicals, man. And that's why you see them, across in fucking France, fucking gluing themselves to walls and shit, and gas cars and shit. And, they turn up at these Native American protests where they really don't want these fuckers there, right? But they turn up there and then they glue themselves to the machine and put these fucking contraptions on, and the police gotta cut them off. These people are batshit fucking crazy, man. And people better take heed, because these are the ones that's gonna try to take your rights, not the government. They ain't coming. Look at COVID. Most of the motherfuckers that think that way were the ones telling you to wear the mask. We're the ones telling you to social distance. We're the ones snitching on you and shit like that. These same fucking people, and still today, they're the ones that wear the mask because they're hiding, because they're scared, they're living in fear, they don't want, this is just what they do, And if you look at every agenda that's pushed, these people are there. So, that's all I wanted to say, man, because this shit just fucking boils my blood that these fucking freak motherfuckers are actually destroying our reality right in front of us. They're using them, through necromantic magic and all that other crazy shit. People don't believe in it, but that shit is very real, So I took up a lot of time, Zach. I appreciate the work, and shout out to RPM Trey, coming with the fire too. And that's what we needed to get people to fucking get up, awaken out of your deeper sleep, man. All this shit is cool, but you got to look outside your door and see what happens. I see this shit every fucking day, man.
Indeed. Indeed. Well, I appreciate your rant, and thanks also for the donation. You're always Mr. Generous.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
And
so that's for the trip to you're gonna have to do some serious cleansing after you come back from that fucking hellhole.
Yeah, it's gonna be a rainy day too, but
think about it. That's the most rainiest, depressingest fucking city in the United States. The suicide rate is the highest, so that should tell a lot of people a lot of things. That's a place where people hate themselves, So,
indeed.
All right, Jack. I'm on this road, so peace and love, everybody, and I'll be tuning in, listening to the rest of the show.
All right, appreciate it, man. You have a good night.
Yeah.
Take care. Okay, we are almost out of show. Again, we don't have any commercials tonight, so it's hard to hear Might be hard to tell when the show ends, but here, let's get the last voices on. Colorado 719. I think you're gonna close us out. What's up, 719?
Hey, Zach, it's Tommy. Yeah, I'm gonna be fast because whenever you do this phone thing, I have flashbacks to the radio days, calling days. But yeah, man, just for Angel 1111 in the chat, I am one of those guys. I will grant her wish. I'm single, no family, no kids, and I constantly tell single mothers around Denver if they notice that I got soft plates under my shirt, I say that's for you and your kid. I got nothing to protect. I'm just sick of how this city is. And to kind of debunk the last caller a little in a comical way, Colorado gets 350 days of sun a year. It's mild weather. It's gorgeous. And we have just as many crazy people. Like, we set the standard for legal weed and mass bangs, if you ask me. We've had all the... I'm one Kevin Bacon away from the Batman movie shooting. I managed a girl that survived that. I was her manager for 3 months before she ever told me. Her and her boyfriend were in the theater and survived it. My hero is Johnny Hurley, the first Uvalde nobody knows about. He took a shooter down in Arvada, Colorado with just his pistol, but the police showed up and without warning just shot him in the back. I'm going to do a report of that with Lauren De Laguna eventually. We're in the talks with the producer. But I want to talk about this shooter real quick, the bang banger. When you think of her buying 7 guns, it's really weird in the ammo-sexual community that she used the sub 2000. That rifle she had was like a gimmick piece of crap. That's a 9mm rifle. You can fold it up and put it in a backpack and stuff. And she didn't even use it for that. So I kind of buy into the spring break number of victims because she has allegedly 7 guns and brought the biggest piece of shit that you could bring out of what 7 she possibly bought. But my biggest question for you, because I appreciate all these people that jumped on the shoe thing, was the end body's upper half not completely different? Like, I saw her come in walking around with a white t-shirt and the black utility vest over it, and that body didn't, in my memory, I haven't looked at it since the first time they showed it, or the last time I saw a shoe example. That shirt was not white with the black vest. And I know everyone homed in on the shoes, but is that why? Or maybe I'm doing the Facebook meme dress thing. Maybe I'm seeing a different color, but that's what I'm asking. Like, is that shirt not completely different on the body?
I'll go back and look at that. It's an interesting observation. I'll check it out. Perhaps it is.
Cool, man. Yeah, and that's all I got just for the chat. I'm not on Adderall or anything. I'm just time sensitive.
All right, appreciate it, man. We're out of show. Till next time, everybody. Okay, yeah, the show timer just went out, so it would be on the commercials if those weren't all non-functional tonight. But thank you to the super chatters. Shout out to Logan Thomas, who just chipped in 10. He said, the fishiest things about Seattle aren't at Pike's Place. Keep exposing the filth, and when you come back to Portland, I'll be right behind you. Appreciate that, Logan. Yeah, I do need to make it back down to Portland. It's been... I was down there January 2021. It's been over 2 years. So, yeah, I need to get back to Portland. But, yeah, this Sunday, Pike's Place Market, Seattle, I aim to get out there as early as possible. I live a little bit further away from there than I used to. It's a little more than a 3-hour drive from here. But, yeah, I'll make a point to get out there as early as possible. Hopefully, before noon. But do bring your rain jacket. It's supposed to be a cool, wet, rainy day. Pretty typical for this time of year. And again, there should still be the Seattle tourists, the Seattle locals, and hopefully we can engage with some people. And actually, maybe the mistake is to announce this in advance, because now that I'm saying this, I'm like, wait a minute, I said the next time I'm going to Seattle, I'm not announcing it, because remember what happened last time I went there? They had a guy paid to sit out there all day and drown me out with a big speaker. He greeted me as soon as I walked up. He said, hey, the minute you make any noise, I'll be drowning you out with that speaker right there. And again, that's where I need some goons with me. It would have been nice if some goons came and laid him out and smashed his laptop and tore apart his speaker and could have got on with getting out the truth. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. I mean, that guy was disrupting me educating about the tyranny of this supposed pandemic, so an ass whooping would have been, more than fair. And for the person out there who'd say, well, why didn't you do it? Well, if I would have done it, I would have also ended up in jail because you had the cops out there too, just watching the whole time. So anyway, I think that's all for tonight. And it looks like there might not be a rebroadcast of this episode on TFR because it's not letting me. Yeah, if you guys missed it, it might not go up on the TFR website. We've lost some shows in recent times because of glitches. But at least it'll be up on YouTube. Unless they take it down there, so. All right, hold on. We got a DK Stonewood sighting. What's up, DK?
Hey, Zach. I'm just trying to catch up over here. Sounds like the trolling for you has finally hit a crescendo here now that you're about to come down to LA and join forces. So, man, it sounds like RPM Trey and the Matrix, the only two real callers. So I mean, I missed like an hour and a half of show, but geez, yeah, it's getting pretty bad. And then you had like 2 weeks in a row. I don't think I missed a lot of show this week so far. I got to go back still and listen, but 2 weeks in a row, you had somebody call in, say that you should have Jason Brashears on or whatever, and then I had one of your trolls contact me personally. Actually, two of them contact me personally to try to tell me that I should look into this shill guy, another fake Jewish guy. So I told them, I was like, yeah, well, I've already looked into him probably 100 times more than you ever will in your life, and I already debunked him and called him out as a clown a long time ago, like probably a year ago. Him and his whole simulacrum and all his nonsense bullshit. So no, Zach shouldn't have him on, and nor should Brashears have Zach on. It's just totally two different genres, one of absolute bullshit nonsense and one realistic one that can look at the past and look at modern day and constantly making all the correlations like you're doing every day. So we don't need this guy to tell us things happen every certain amount of years or any of this stuff. It's we can already see who's running the show. Yeah, and then notice I'm glad you brought up the Ole thing with the shoes. I thought me and Ole were the only two who knew about that back when I was talking to him on a regular basis before I got his channel deleted. Yeah, we were constantly talking about the shoes, and then back when I didn't know you knew that, so I never really mentioned it in that way that he mentions. It's always the shoes. They always put the shoes in the picture. But like when they were doing the Uvalde, Texas thing with the green shoes, and I always had that in the back of my mind. I wasn't aware that you knew about that as well, about the shoes.
Yeah, we've talked about it a few times, but yeah, I first heard about that from Ole Demigard. I know that's his big thing. So.
Yeah, he had I think he did one special, which was just all on shoes. I think he started it with like the Holocaust, but I bet you if you go back before that, it's even before they had photographs, I'm sure it was still shoes that they were writing about. So I wonder why. it has got to have something to do with masonry or something like that with it's kind of two-part where they're showing you like, hey, it's another fake one that we're running. It's another psychological operation, and then on the other hand, mocking in some way. And then funny, and then what happened on this fake shooting, this just recent one, the thing you've been talking about again, it's the shoes, different shoes in different parts of the video. And they talk about how we shouldn't let these transgenders or gays adopt children because they're unfit parents, but she shows up in a Honda Fit, it's like One thing that I wanted to mention, you were talking about recently again, and kind of always, about the only description of Christ in there, of him having darker skin and hair like wool. So, you know, we got to assume he's, you know, not white for sure. I talked about this. I think I talked about it I know I talked about the chronovisor on your show. There was this Jesuit priest who invented this, you know, time machine thing where it wasn't really like you could travel through time, but you could look at different parts of time, whether it's past or future events. And it was his name was Father Pellegrino Ernetti. And he was actually the top exorcist in Venice. And I was just talking about this on a show I went on recently, maybe like a couple weeks ago, about we were talking about the chronovisor and how this was, you know, technology they stole from Tesla and then just perfected because they put a bunch of money behind it and, you know, finally finished off what Tesla hadn't finished, or maybe Tesla had finished it and it just wasn't in his notes that they stole from him and gave to Uncle Trump there. But anyway, so this guy who's the top exorcist in Venice invents, and he was this one thing I was going to mention, but I might as well mention it now. And he was like known to be like the exorcist for the Pope. And then I was just talking about that like 3 weeks ago, and now they're coming out with the new movie called The Pope's Exorcist. I don't know if you saw the trailer for that.
I haven't.
Yeah, so, and I forget who, is it Liam Neeson? I can't remember who plays or maybe it's Russell Crowe, who plays the actual exorcist, but I'm like, son of a bitch, see, now they got to tell us the truth about this because one of us has already put it out there, so they got to come, you know, afterwards, like cleanup crew, and tell us any of the truth that they haven't told us yet, that one of us got to first. But so anyway, this machine that he says he said he could get, you know, images. They've set it up so that it would project onto like a screen, onto like a backboard, these images of like past and future events. And he went back to the time of the crucifixion and took a picture of what Christ looks like. I think you could still find that photo on the internet. It just looks like a Middle Eastern guy, you know. If you put in maybe Father Pellegrino Ernetti chronovisor picture of Christ, but yeah, it shows a guy who's like, you know, basically I don't know what ethnicity I would say. He's not as dark as like Iraqi, but he's probably like maybe like looks like Syrian or Lebanese, like some of that, like their skin tone, where they could, you know, sometimes you could pass for white, but then you could tell that it's, you know, they're white like features, but you could tell that, you know, the skin is much darker, and, you know, nose was a little bit bigger, you know, kind of like that ethnicity of people over there, like Fertile Crescent area. So, I mean, if people are interested, they can go look at that. I'm going to totally shift gears. I just want to make a comment on how you did the one show you were talking about, like how to make healthy food, and you were cooking, showing the food or whatever. By the way, if I ever stay with you or you stay with me, I want to show you how to do all that stuff, like separately, instead of cooking all those vegetables and together in one pan. If you do them like in 3 separate pans and then throw them together at the end, the taste is just 10 times better, because you could taste one individually, like the juice from the onions doesn't take over the other stuff and get all the onion taste into it. It's all separate. Then when you eat it, you're like, wow, it's like you know, your taste buds are discerning all the different tastes in there instead of it all kind of tasting the same. But what I wanted to comment on is the oils. And I mean, it's going to sound counterintuitive, like all the stuff we've been told is like really healthy, like olive oil and avocado oil and these oils. come to, which I've consumed tons of it throughout my life, come to find out it's actually not really the case. So somebody who's eating unhealthy, of course, switching to stuff like that's going to be way healthier. But once you get dialed in and you have like what you would call like an almost perfect, nutritional plan, actually these oils, they kind of block digestion a little bit because they coat like the outside or, the inside of the intestines as everything's going down. So it blocks the absorption a little bit. That's how it gets into your bloodstream through the, as the intestines are pulling stuff out and pulling through the intestinal wall. And, when you coat that with an oil, it blocks it in a way. And if you look at like how nature is giving us stuff, so like I eat olives now instead of olive oil, and I've always eaten avocados, but I just I don't use any of their oils, because now what we're doing is we're isolating a certain portion of that fruit or vegetable, and we should be actually consuming it in the way that nature gives it to us, with all the fiber and all this stuff. If you just isolate all the fat out of it and pull it out, it's kind of a little bit difficult for our body to deal with. So when you're like doing like stir frying or how you were doing your food, I would just coat the pan with coconut oil and not have like coconut oil sitting in there. I mean, you can if you want, but if you don't want it to change the taste of your food, you just want to like coat it, almost like take a paper towel later and just, kind of wipe the excess off just to leave the pan coated so it doesn't stick. And then the rest you want to use just water. And then you put these oils on after, because you don't, even though I just said that, it's not necessarily the greatest thing to consume these oils as it is to consume the actual like vegetable as the way it came, by nature, the whole thing with all the fiber and the pulp and everything. Even if you are going to consume them, you should just consume them unheated, because you're changing the lipid profile once you eat like olive oil and avocado oil. They don't have a high flash point. So when they get to a certain amount, like it's like 170 or something degree, it's not that hot. When you start changing the lipid profile and making it almost basically into like what you would call a trans fat, you make the fat molecule rearranges and you make it more dense. So these are always things like that you would want to put on like after, instead of, within the, like for the cooking process. So anyway, just some advice on things I've learned over the years, on, what you would call diet. When, I thought I had it down and I, basically knew everything, and then you come to find out, be like, oh, so shouldn't even be doing this or heating this thing up to this much, or, whatever. So I always recommend, if you're going to heat the oil, use like coconut and grapeseed, which are both natural SPFs as well. I think coconut oil is like SPF 5 naturally, and grapeseed is like SPF 15. And then those are the both also that are really good for cooking with if you're gonna heat them up. So they have like a really high flash point, and you'll notice how when you heat up, like if you just put olive oil in the thing first and you're heating it up, you'll notice it smokes like something's burning. Where if you heat up the coconut oil, it doesn't smoke like that. Neither does grapeseed. So I mean, I eat mostly everything raw, so I don't even cook anymore, but I used to before, and I was always using like coconut oil to make like I would make like fajitas with like, ground turkey and ground beefs and stuff like that. So I was always using like grapeseed and coconut to start off with. And then later, once I would make, my vegetables in one pan, and then, in the other pan, once I threw it all together, then I would pour some like olive oil on top and chop up some avocados or whatever, until I learned that, now I don't even buy olive oil anymore. And for those who are buying olive oil, for many years I bought Bragg's, that brand that has the good apple cider vinegar, olive oil seasoning. That brand was bought by Katy Perry and her husband or boyfriend or whoever the dude is a while back. So, I mean, they're probably just fronts for it anyways, like Zuckerberg owns Facebook. But, yeah, so people were complaining that the apple cider vinegar was a different color. And then, you know, I looked into it a little bit because I noticed the same thing, that it changed. The color wasn't like dark, like mahogany anymore. It was more like, you know, it was turning more to like just like a lighter rust color, like water and rusty water. And they were saying, there was articles on how they were diluting it after she bought it. So just a heads up to anyone. I know a lot of people that were like kind of health conscious were using that brand. Anyway, that's about it, I think.
I know you're right about the coconut oil. We do use that too. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't use it all the way, but yeah, it does have a distinct flavor. So.
Yeah, I mean, if it can change the taste of your food if you use a lot of it. But like I said, if you just like coat the pan, like say you have one of those like cast iron pans, you know, everything sticks to it. So you put some oil on it while it's warm. It's real easy to spreads around. Then you go over it with the paper towels. So the oil's like all in the pores of the pan and everything, but you know, and then you just, I mean, in general, even if you are cooking, you don't want to put shit too hot. You know, you're changing all the stuff in the food, killing the enzymes and stuff and everything. So now, you know, you're not going to get as many vitamins and minerals out of it because of that anyway. So if you don't want it to change the taste of your food, though, use the grapeseed because it tastes more like the olive oil and you know, because coconut oil has like a definite sweet taste to it. So I know people like, if they do that, they're like, oh, it makes everything too sweet. So use the grapeseed instead. Grapeseed, you'll find grapeseed's pretty expensive too if you find good ones.
Okay. Amy in the chat saying make ghee. She's saying make ghee instead of oil.
You could do that, yeah, too. Or, I mean, you know, they used to use like butter and the thing is, you can tell right away when you turn up the heat how the smoke looks. You know, on these oils that you can't heat up, you can tell right away it's smoking like it's burning. And if you let it keep going, your pan will be destroyed after, like, if you let it completely evaporate, it'll be destroyed. Whereas in the coconut, it won't do that. It just, you know, I've left it on before where I'm just preheating, and then you know, somebody came to my garage or one of my friends was coming over. They're like, hey, I'm at the gate. And, you know, then I went down like 15 minutes later. I come back up and I'm like, oh, shit, I left the
Yeah,
fire
you do that a lot more when you smoke weed. I know how that goes.
Yeah,
So.
you know, and then, you know, and especially if you're by yourself in the house, then you got to run out to open, you know, you can't just tell sweet lady, hey, you know, go over there and tend to in the kitchen, you know, watch everything that I can't remember everything I left on. Just go pay attention to it for a couple minutes. So yeah, I'll step out and, you know, you already know.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I boiled the whole pot of water because somebody distracted me. So anyway.
You come back and you're second guessing yourself. Did I put water in there? Or did it gone so long that it's already all boiled out?
No, I know that I did because like there's a condensation all over the kitchen from boiling the whole thing off. But anyway.
Yeah, you turned it into a little bit of a steam room. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. So.
All right, well, I'll go back and listen to the show. I only listened kind of to your monologue and then RPM Trey's call and Wright's call right now at the end. So the other ones were sounding like trolls. I was kind of just fast forwarding through them.
Yeah. I think some were trolls. All right, DK. Well, you have a good night, man.
Okay.
Thank you.
You too.
All
Talk
right,
to you
bye.
soon. Bye.
Yeah. That's the good thing about not smoking weed anymore. I haven't boiled off the whole water pot by accident. So, anyhow, yeah, we'll leave it there, guys. I'll put out more information on Seattle Sunday. Try and bring some sunshine to Seattle with the knowledge. See if we can wake up a few more people. Yeah. I think that's all for now. Again, thank you to the super chatters. Appreciate the gas money. And until next time, everybody.